What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we are here for a new episode of our 0 rings to 7 rings series, where we take a franchise that is yet to win a Super Bowl, and this video ends once we've won 7 Super Bowls, therefore making them the most successful franchise in the history of the NFL. And today we're taking a look at the Minnesota Vikings, a really interesting team where they're adding talent for sure. They got Jordan Addison, who's been arguably the best wide receiver in college football for the last 2 years. And then they're also just like losing a lot of talent. No more Dalvin Cook. On the defense, no more Eric Kendricks, which is pretty surprising, all things considered, right? No more Zadarius Smith at edge rusher. Him and Hunter, prolific. So we got some decisions. We got some tough calls. We got some figuring out to do. But ultimately, a really interesting roster. I think fully deserved of being our newest team in this series. So taking a look here at the Vikings. We have a pretty good offensive line led by the 2 tackles there, but most of this offensive line is on the right side of 30. I think almost all of them actually are on the right side of 30. We got 4, anytime you get 4 to 5 with dev traits, linemen tend not to lose dev traits. I'm happy with that. I'm going to try to build and develop these guys as long as we can. We have TJ Hawkinson, who, even at that 91 overall, is a little bit overrated, still a really nice tight end. And they made a really bold trade to get him from within the division from the Detroit Lions. Madison's opportunity to just go from being fantasy football handcuff running back #1 to running back #1 for the Minnesota Vikings. And we're going to give him an opportunity to prove that he could be the RB1. The wide receiver room, as you mentioned, we got Jordan Addison in the first round of the draft. KJ Osborne's a nice role player. And then you just have the best skill position player, I think, in the NFL. At least the best wide receiver in the NFL. 99 club member ahead of Madden 2024. Justin Jefferson. And I've got over it, man. I got that Jefferson signed picture. Once I get my office set up here ahead of the Madden 24 season, I'll proudly display that. Before, it was saltedly display that because he should be a Philadelphia Eagle right now. Look, the other guy there, the reason why he's not on the Eagles is there. And look at that face. That just screams, you know, I'm why you don't have this guy. But you know what? My copium is I'd rather A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith over Justin Jefferson. But I say that fully jealous that the Minnesota Vikings get to have Justin Jefferson. He is an awesome player. Now, the interesting question mark on the Minnesota Vikings is Kirk Cousins. By them moving on from some of the veterans, you know, it's surprising Kirk Cousins is still here. And there's a lot of rumors that they would have been targeting a quarterback in last year's draft. But I think when you look at the NFC quarterbacks, it's clearly, and this is unbiasedly, even though it's biased, clearly Jalen Hurts is in like the top tier. Tier 1 of quarterback, it's Jalen Hurts, and it's just Jalen Hurts in the NFC. Tier 2 is a bunch of quarterbacks, and you can make on any given stretch of 3-4 games, Kirk Cousins could be the top 2nd best quarterback in the NFC. So if you're the Minnesota Vikings, well, there are clear limitations and shortcomings from Kirk Cousins, which are on full display right now if you're watching this quarterback series on Netflix. I'm a couple episodes in, and what a lovable goofball Kirk Cousins is. But, you know, if you think there's a chance he could still be the 2nd best quarterback in your conference, logic dictates that, like, that should bring you pretty far in the playoffs and give you an opportunity. So that is why he is still here. But I'll tell you right now, for this rebuild, I will have no problem moving on from Kirk Cousins if we need to make that decision. Defensively, work in project. You know, we got the front 3, work in progress. Lowry's role player. We got a role player at nose tackle. Phillips is solid, 80. He's 26 years old. So, I mean, maybe that's a guy we can kind of build around. We have Danielle Hunter, who's 92 superstar, but he's getting up there in age just a little bit. 28, 29. 30. I mean, luckily, I think he was one of those players that was like 20 years old when he was drafted. Obviously, look at the experience at age. But, you know, we gotta maximize this. The window is closing on Danielle Hunter's prime. We got Davenport on a 1-year deal from the Saints. From that draft class, Andre Carter, the 6'7" pass rusher from Army, who fell during the draft because he wasn't the best athlete. He could be a fun developmental option for us here. The linebacking room looks weird with no Eric Kendricks, who's been like one of the leaders. It's really been like Kendricks and Harrison Smith when you think of Vikings defenders. We still got Hicks and Asmo, but like probably need to find a true Kendricks replacement. Harrison Smith and Lewis Cine are a really nice 1-2 punch here. You got the veteran, who's still really good, and then you have the 2nd-year player who's a freak athlete. I think we can have them play off each other and be really good. We got Byron Murphy Jr. came over in free agency from the Arizona Cardinals. I think he's an underrated player, really nice corner. We have Andrew Booth, who's a top pick for the Vikings out of Clemson. He's looking to take another big step in his career. They got Blackman, who was a part of USC's defense. I think he was their 2nd or 3rd round pick this year. the best rating, but we're going to give him an opportunity to also get on the field as a rookie. So plenty of things need to go right, but this is not going to be a rebuild with the first couple of years. We're going to be tanking and trying to get good picks. We're going to be competitive right away. And I do think whenever we get that first Super Bowl, be it with Kirk Cousins under center or not, I think this is going to be a team that will snowball. We'll be able to get a couple in a row and get to 7 sooner than later. So without further ado, let's get into year 1 of the rebuild here in the 2023 season. So the midway point of year number 1, mixed bag for sure, but we're tied for first in the division, so that is pretty cool. Even though we're coming off week 7 loss, Jordan Hicks got player of the week. Look at this. We have had twice this year. Kirk Cousins has got NFC Offensive Player of the Week. In week 4, 4 touchdowns. And in week 2, 3. It was a little bit of a low week, but he still got it twice. Put some respect on Kirko, for God's sakes. Let's go look at some contracts here. Need to figure out what we're doing with what. We got $143 billion that we have at our disposal. Figure out who we want to re-sign. I'll tell you right now, Jalen Reagor, Pound Sand, Dean Lauer, let's get younger. Jordan Hicks, let's get younger. Ezra Cleveland, you know the saying, we ride our linemen into the ground, and this should be a very reasonable contract. 5 years, 28 for Ezra Cleveland. Yes, sir. We have TJ Hawkinson, who 4 years at his age, keep till he's 30, keep him for his prime. And then we can decide at 30, you know, is he worth whatever it's going to cost. Davenport, I would have loved to see some interest there, to be honest with you. I think this is a really reasonable contract for KJ Osborne. I'll bump it up just a little bit to see if we can up the chances of it getting accepted, which we did. And we got Danielle Hunter. I mean, yeah, especially because he wants to be here. Easy contract, keep him till he's 32. I mean, Kirk's playing well. He's only looking for a 1 year, so it's pretty much like a rental. We'll go 21 and 9 will be our opening bid. 1 year, 30 mil. He doesn't want to be here, huh? Well, you know what? Let's wait and see how he put out with this response, with him flipping me off essentially. No more contract extensions in season. Let me see where your stats stand at the end of the year, and then we'll decide if you're worthy of a contract or not, Mr. Cousins. And we close out year 1 here with an 11-6 record, winning the NFC North. Not only that, Kirk Cousins is on back-to-back 5 Teddy Bombs. Back-to-back Player of the Week, which is an award that he has won 3, 4, 5 times this year. We have yet to hammer out a contract extension for a 5-time NFC Player of the Week. I mean, there's probably, because it's Madden, there's probably going to be regression and stuff like that. But man, Kirk Cousins, I think, played really well this season. I think. Maybe not the yards, but the touchdowns should be off the charts. And look at that. Yards not the best, but almost top 5. 40 touchdowns to 5 picks. And he has the mentor tag, which means if we could ever draft a replacement, he's going to be, you know, getting a little extra XP boost. I think we're going to have to pay the piper here, Kirk Cousins. That is, you know, he bet on himself. And I think we're going to have to pay him. Just on 1,000 for Madison. 9 touchdowns. 12 and 10 for Justin Jefferson. 12 and 12 for Osborne. 1,013 for Jordan Addison. Hawkinson with, you know, respectable yards. Not so much his way of touchdowns. Jordan Hicks was a tackle machine. 129 tackles. 8 sacks. 107 from Davenport. It's just classic 3-4 defense, brutal sim numbers, which we may need to look at. Maybe we'll look at a new defensive coordinator or something like that. Underperforming for sure. Justin Herbert wins the MVP. Kirk Cousins coming in at number 8. And then the NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Cup. Look for some Vikings, man. Come on. Jordan Addison, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Let's go. That's what we wanted to see. Kirk Cousins, Quarterback of the Year. Let's go. Probably it, though. I don't think we're definitely not going to have anything on the defense. So, I mean, still a lot of success. Should be dev traits there. Kirk Cousins is on normal. That should be a star dev. Jordan Addison, I think, is on a... I don't know if I could say star dev. I'm assuming that's a star dev. It might be a superstar. If that's the case, having 2 X Factors at wide receiver would be pretty dope. I'm assuming that he's on star. He is, but with that Offensive Rookie of the Year, that could be a superstar adding himself to the mix. So the playoffs. Regular season's never really been that hard for Kirk Cousins unless it's been prime time. it's been the playoffs. Now all lights are on him as we take on the 10-7 Commanders in the wild card. Gotta run the gauntlet. And it's kind of what's going on here. But looking at our defense rankings, I think it is very fair to say, as it stands right now, the Minnesota Vikings are going to be in the market for a new defensive coordinator. Now, I've had success with Detroit. I was hoping we'd get the Tennessee Titans because our Titans defense was ridiculous in the last rebuild we did. But I've had some good success with Detroit. We're going to try that one out. Poach within the division. We went back with the same offer for Kirk Cousins, and we got him to sign on the dotted line for one more season. We're going to try to address all three levels of the defense here in free agency. We got a lot of money, so I figured let's throw our weight around here a little bit. First up on that front three, which is kind of unimpressive. Someone like Christian Wilkins, 28 years old. We got the top bid on him. I didn't overpay either. I literally offered him like a yellow bid, but no other bids on him right now. Hopefully we can get that one. Sign on the dotted line. We got Jordan Brooks at middle linebacker. We need to get some talent. And after the Seattle Seahawks didn't pick up his fifth-year option, he's probably going to be one of the top linebackers available. So I want to invest in the position. And then I'm just looking for a nice little depth corner here in Jalen Watson, 6'2", only 25 years old. Kind of fits what I'm looking for on the outside. Well, we got Wilkins, which is the first big fish to fall. We're still top bid on the other two players. We get all three to sign. Now we can shift our focus towards the draft. So for the first round, needs. Needs are interesting. We need. I think you can make an argument that it's never going to be too early to look for a running back. Just don't, that's not the board you want to see. We need a guard potentially that can slide in. And I did scout one here in Quentin Sparks, but that's third, fourth round. You'd like to think we can get that guy at worst in the second round. He looks great. That looks like a guy that we can plug and play and be an upgrade right away at right guard. So that is definitely my top target in the second round. I don't think we have much at right guard. Ralph Evans looks solid. We continue to build on that front three. Brian Craig, A tackle, B block shed. Pretty good combine, all things considered, especially for a big guy and has the elite strength, which is what you want to look for. But also doesn't really look like a home run. Jamal Ferguson, A block shed. Ooh, shit. Who is this guy? Fucking loud. Terrible combine. Usually you go combine over grades, but those are really good grades. That's a guy right there. That's a valedictorian of combine grades. A couple other guys here. Now, my favorite player that I scouted is another linebacker. Do we need another linebacker? But if he's BPA, you might need to make it. He is pretty much BPA. I wish it was an edge rusher, but edge rushers, if you're not picking within the top 10 picks, you're not going to be able to get really a good edge rusher. So I think we find a partner here for Jordan Brooks in the middle of our defense. And we, of course, can't get a dev trade because you can't have nice things. Luckily, Quentin Sparks, the guard that I kind of want, is still available here in the second round. So that is going to be our pick, and he should bring home a dev trade, which he does. He's going to be plug and play at right guard. I want to add some speed to our backfield, so we're going to grab the fastest running back available here, Joey Rowland out of Auburn. I mean, honestly, doesn't look the best outside of the athletic traits. And I'm going to gamble on athletic traits all day long. And you know what? He's not playing, so it's not the worst thing that he doesn't have a dev. But better have a good rating. Why is this guy falling? First, second rounder, A deep route running, 4.3 speed. I don't even need wide receiver, and I'm going to draft him. Nice little late round pick here. Deion Felix, undersized D tackle, would be a D end in our scheme. Rolls with a dev trade at a Texas A&M. We got a great corner with a hidden dev late. Jumped out the gym. I was surprised an athlete at 6'2" was still available. We got a strong safety. He had A tackle, A hit power, F zone coverage. I was like, worst case, make him a linebacker. We got ourselves, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Who was that safety the Vikings used to have that just would hurt everybody? Oh my God, he was on Philly. Someone in the comments, you know who I'm talking about. That's what this guy's going to be. And we finish it off with a hidden dev kicker. So we're a first-year draft. While we didn't hit on a dev trade with our first pick, still 76. Not a bad rating, and it might even, usually it does downgrade a little bit, but it might go up a point if we move him inside the middle linebacker where he's going to play alongside Jordan Brooks, and it goes down a point, but that's still fine. We got Sparks in the second round, 73 dev trade. Rollins, 74, great rating. Unfortunately, only a normal dev. Whitaker fell to our lap. He was first, second round, still on the board, and he pulled a 74 rating. I don't know if there's character issues or what's going on there. Dion Felix did pop with the dev trade. Not a great rating, though. Maybe his rating will shift a little bit if we move him to defensive end, which is where he's going to play. Let's see what happens. Move him to, say, left defensive end. He jumps from a 64. Maybe we'll get like a 66 out of it. Nope, stays at 64. Josh Rubin, 69 hidden dev. Clifford Sendejo. He is our Andrew Sendejo hidden dev. So we're getting lots of late round hidden devs, which was awesome. Stoudemire, 74 wide receiver in the 6th round. He was another guy. He was projected to go in the 2nd round. First, 2nd round, there was 2 wide receivers, Stoudemire and Whitaker, that just were free falling. I drafted them both, 74 each. Whiff there on the DN, who actually I thought was going to be pretty solid, but then we finish up with a 72 hidden dev kicker. So all in all, excellent draft for the Minnesota Vikings, which is tough to say considering we started with a normal dev first round pick. Midway point of year 2, and 5-5, not really where we want to be. Season's not a write-off. Offense top 10, defense still not ideal with the switch to the Detroit Lions playbook, but at least we're getting a little bit of passing defense, top 10 passing defense. But our rushing offense sucks. Madison, not a roaring review of Madison. We did get a nice win over the Bucks, which is not easy to do. But we're going to have to make some maybe potentially tough decisions here. One that's not a tough decision is Josh Jefferson. We're going to pretty much give him very player-friendly and literally not even look at what it costs because he's not going anywhere. Byron Murphy Jr. has been great since he has been here. I would like to get him maybe on a 4-year deal. We'll bump it up. We'll give him 8 and 5. Could be enough. 52 wants more. I think we still will match it because corners like that don't grow on trees. Madison has just not really thrived as RB1. Harrison Phillips, the years are right. Definitely could get down with 2 years. What if I add $1 million to both? We'll go 6.9 and 7, and he wants more money. Not a lot of guys are buying into the project here in Minnesota. And we got Kirk Cousins. What if I give you 12 and 6.5? He's got player of the week twice. He wants more money. So we got lots of wait and sees. Byron Murphy, out of all the guys, is the one I want to most extend next week. We added $500,000 to salary and bonus, enough to get him to sign on the dotted line. We're going to consider ourselves fortunate at the end of year 3 to go 8-9, 3rd place in the division, but still find ourselves in the playoffs. Probably going to be pretty short-lived as we take on the Dallas Cowboys, who are unreasonably good in the sim. But look at Kirk Cousins, 1st in yards, 2nd in touchdowns. So there's going to be regression. Hell, he might even retire. But I think we're going to have to offer him a contract. He's likely going to jump up to a superstar quarterback. And regardless of rating, he is thriving right now in this system. And I will say, it does make me feel pretty good because it does, no disrespect to Kirk Cousins, but I feel like any quarterback right now in this Viking system with the skill position players and O-line that we have in place, probably going to put up these numbers. So we'll keep Kirk because it's Kirk. Josh Jefferson, huge season, 106 catches, almost 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1,300 yards, 12 tutties for Addison, 900 for Osborne, 7 and 5 for Hawkinson. Really good numbers across the board. The rookie Kevin Moon led the team, 110 tackles, buck 07 for Jordan Brooks, 11 sacks, 110.5 Christian Wilkins, 7 for Phillips, 6 picks. Byron Murphy Jr. thriving here in Minnesota. Glad that we were able to hammer out that contract extension. MVP goes to Dak with Kirk Cousins coming in top 5 in for individual awards. All right, there we go. Daniel Hunter, linebacker of the year. There could be a dev trade increase. Byron Murphy, DB of the year. Could be dev trade increase, especially in the case of Byron Murphy. We just extended him as a star. To have him jumping up to superstar should help. But let's be honest, even if we lose to Dallas here, I'm not going to complain. We shouldn't be making the playoffs with a record below 500. And we kept it close. 37-31 we fall. But that is our 2nd straight wild card loss to start this rebuild. Lovely Chiefs-Cowboys Super Bowl. But in closing for our squad, I'm expecting some big numbers here. Kirk Cousins up to a superstar dev. I'm going to try to resign him. Don't know if that's in my best interest, but he's playing well enough that I feel like it'd be unfair to not. But we are going to have some turnover in the running back room. We're going to look to improve that in free agency. On the defensive side of the ball, we did lose the superstar dev on Christian Wilkins. We didn't gain an X factor on Danielle Hunter, even though he won linebacker of the year, which kind of sucks. But we did at least gain a superstar dev on Byron Murphy Jr., who was DB of the year and led the league in interception. So all in all, you know, kind of breaking even. All right, we're going to offer Kirk 1 year, $22 million deal. He wants to test out free agency. So unfortunately, we gotta. We do, however, see a legend retire. 13 seasons, Harrison Smith decides to hang it up. So our big needs now going into free agency, I'm looking for a new starting running back, and we're going to need a new starting strong safety. Actually, the safety market's not the best. We might have to go with the Andrew Sendejo regen that we got. But doesn't mean we're not going to try to make a big move. Javonte Williams, I'm a big fan of his game. Love watching him at North Carolina. We're going to try and see if we can bring him in as our new stud running back. 6 years, got him for the rest of his prime. Now, you're not supposed to pay running backs, but when they're Javonte Williams level, you're gonna. So for scouting, I did handle my business as far as, like, doing our due diligence on the safety room, but, like, George Hatchett looks like the best safety, and his stats, like the A hit power, A tack, it's, like, not too far off of our Andrew Sendejo region. So, you know what? Why not give the guy a chance? Sendejo Jr. was 7th round pick. Not too often those guys emerge as starters. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Also helps the fact that I did scout a top 5 true talent player here. Jeremiah Matthews. Looks B's across the board. Combine is pretty good. I would say, like, those are the combine numbers that make me a little worried that there's going to be no dev trait there. But should pull a decent rating if he's top 5 in talent. He's going to play as our other defensive end on the other side of Christian Wilkins. And I think my plan would be to get him, and then hopefully in the second round we can come around and look at, like, a Johnny Huff. Get one of those big-ass nose tackles, man. That's what we were missing, or Tiquan Wagner. Both those guys should be pretty good and can start with the middle. But we're going to grab our top 5 true talent, Jeremiah Matthews. And, of course, too good to be true, no dev trait. Anytime someone has 96 reps on the bench press, I'm going to want a ticket to that show. But also, no dev. Hey, take a look at our draft recap. No dev traits. Wasn't a strong dev trait draft, but the rating's pretty good. Jeremiah Matthews, 76. He is going to, I think, left defensive end spot, where we do have a power rush. I think the scheme fit is going to be the same. And his rating goes from 76 down to a 73. Not top 5 in true talent anymore. But again, if that guy's top 5 in true talent, it's just a weak draft class, a weak roll. Johnny Huff, 72 nose tackle. I got a 72 running back here just to continue to add to the room here, get a little bit more speed behind Javonte Williams. Rest of the draft kind of mid, and, you know, sometimes this happens. You don't get good rolls, and this is one of those years. Year 3, quick recap. Warrior offense. We got Kirk Cousins. Could be the last hurrah for Captain Kirk. Addison and Jefferson are the best 1-2 punch wide receiver. We added a stud to see if that can give us a little bit more out of our run game, get back to where the run game was when they had Dalvin Cook. And you can make an argument that this Javonte Williams might be better than Dalvin Cook that got released. Our O-line is very good. Our defense is work in progress. We're actually going to bump Huff. We're going to go with their 2 rookies here on the D-line, along with Christian Wilkins. Everyone else remains the same. Big shoes to fill here. David Clifford, a.k.a. Andrew Sendejo 2.0, after the retirement. I want to say surprise retirement. It kind of took me by surprise of Harrison Smith. We're gambling that the 6th round pick is going to be able to be that dude. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us, because our window is, you know, we have 2 years where we've made the playoffs, wildcard losses. And I'd like something a little bit more to attach to the legacy of Kirk Cousins here in Minnesota. We're on a little bit of a roll here in year 3. Sitting atop the division, just had a breakout scenario for Lucine and did not hit it. Stinks. But, you know, it's a tough one. That was him to get off star up to a superstar. But 5-2. Offensively, we're good. Defense is getting right. That Dan Campbell defense is getting right, which is what we need. It's a good roll. Let's look at some contracts here. Up first, we have Darisaw. That is a franchise tackle. We'll give him a 5-year, $100 million deal. We got Andrew Booth, corner that we don't really want to let walk. Bump that up just a little bit. I mean, he's a guy who hasn't really got the interception numbers. But, you know, that's a lot of talent, a lot of upside. Don't really want to let that leave the building. Outside of that, obviously, we got Kirk Cousins. We'll wait and see. Garrett Bradbury at center. Probably, I can move on from that. You know, we're getting to a spot where we just can't re-sign everyone. I think I want to get Booth, and then we'll save enough money if Kirk Cousins wants to run it back at 38 years old. We can afford to pay him. At the end of year 3, make the playoffs. Tied for first, so we don't get the notch on our belt of another divisional title, but 11-6. Pretty good. Finished with a top 5 offense and almost a top 10 defense. So our defense, which has been an issue for us, is trending in the right direction. Take a look at the stats. Kirk Cousins still firing on all cylinders. Old man Kirk, 5,200 yards, 43 touchdowns to only 10 interceptions, 12 and 16 from Javonte Williams. So that is the upgrade we definitely needed in the backfield. 1,500 yards for Justin Jefferson, 1,500 yards. That is a 1-2 punch. Almost 1,000 for Osborne. Decent year out of Hawkinson. Defensively, Kevin Moon with a little bit of a breakout. 119 tackles, 7 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, 4 picks. We got 11.5 sacks to Neil Hunter. 8.5 from Christian Wilkins. 4 picks, Kevin Moon lead team. Clifford need to step up. 72 tackles, 2 interceptions. Not a bad season as far as box score watching is concerned. MVP goes to Anthony Richardson. Kirk Cousins, number 4. A little bit of disrespect there. Look at the rest of them. We got any Vikings? Unfortunately, we do not. But I'm still really, really happy with these numbers. And honestly, Kirk Cousins could go up to X Factor. Ahead of our Giants matchup here in the wild card, making it hopefully not 3 straight wild card losses. We have Johnny Huff, our gigantic, powerful nose tackle, who is on normal dev, looking to get a jump up to star dev. I guess that'd be a silver lining if we are going to be one and done. If we can get at least a dev trait on the defensive line for one of our young players, that will be huge. We lose again. 3rd straight wild card loss. Did we at least get the dev trait? Brutal. And Jordan Addison off his gigantic. We got 3 skill points, which is absurd. What did he get? I didn't see any awards going to Jordan Addison, but he has 3 skill points. He's up to an X Factor now. We got the double X Factor. He just straight up got it. Nice. Before it comes time to pay Kirk Cousins, we have done our due diligence in what looks to be a strong quarterback class. 4 quarterbacks with top 5 grade. 3 of them have first-round talents. 2 have top 5 talent. Deshaun Parnell of Oklahoma State, Sebastian Ebert out of Tulsa. Not going to know a whole lot more until we get to the combine. But both these guys look legit, especially from the consideration of we're not here to, we're not here to be friends with Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we've given him 3 years, and we've got the same results, and enough so to be like, I think almost any good quarterback would put up big numbers in this offense. That is my takeaway from where we're at. So I'm thinking it's time. I don't know what the price is going to be. We made the playoffs. It's probably going to be expensive. But one of these 2 guys, we need them. I think we're going to make a move. So with that being said, we're leaving Kirk Cousins, who's made the short list for MVP, for whatever the hell that's worth. Finished his career 52,000 yards passing, 378 touchdowns to 128 interceptions. His time is now over in Minnesota. Dude, I didn't even think about the regression. Down to a 71. Still a superstar. That is a harsh one. Oof. So the Denver Broncos have the number 1 overall pick. When I go to the trade finder, they just want my first rounder this year, my first rounder next year, my second rounder the year after that. So I'm going to take that and I'll send them some extra value to make it reasonable. And then honestly, I kind of just went through their top 5 team needs. I did not have a left guard or left tackle, but I did decide they needed wide receiver and edge. I threw in a nice value running back here, I assume because they let Javonte Williams walk. The running back room. So we're giving 76 normal dev rookie on a rookie contract running back. I'm going to send them KJ Osborne, 83 star. And I'm going to give them Andre Carter, 78 star, 26-year-old edge rusher. Just give them a little bit more value on top of 2 firsts and a second. They get likely 2 new starters. To be honest, another reason why I wanted to pivot a little bit. Look at the free agency. Travon Walker is the fish that I want. I need more pass rusher. I need more out of my pass rushers. Trevon Walker, superstar. Perfect scheme fit to play on the other side of Danielle Hunter, who could take him under his wing. Now, with the #1 overall pick, let's go figure out which one of those top 5 true talent quarterbacks is going to bring us our first Super Bowl. All right, on the clock with the first overall selection. Paid a pretty big price, man. Gave up 2 starters, a nice running back, and obviously 2 first-round picks. The last actual mock draft had us going with this D tackle, which is, I mean, come on. But this guy looks terrifying. 3 A's and a B. He's pretty much Aaron Donald. Holy shit. Runs a 4.59 at 294. I am going to want to see what that looks like. But we're going to have to grab a quarterback here. Top 2, we have Sebastian Ebert. 3 A's and a B. 6'3", 235. Has great throw power. Would have loved to see elite, honestly, in both these guys. But Deshaun Purnell could be his to lose. 3 A's and a B as well. 6'1", 214. OK State. Has elite throw power and ran a 4.3. I could overthink it. 92 speed. 96 throw power. The new franchise quarterback to throw to X Factor Justin Jefferson. X Factor Jordan Addison. 94, 95 overall TJ Hawkinson to hand it off to a ball of knives in Javonte Williams. Let's go. We let Garrett Bradbury walk, so we needed a center, and a really good center kind of fell in our lap here. Owen Osborne, AA, double B, is a scheme fit, great athlete. Would have loved a dev trait there, honestly. We passed on an Aaron Donald regen to get a very terrifying looking quarterback, pretty much Anthony Richardson. 80 overall, Deshaun Purnell. We haven't had the best rolls of dev traits in this rebuild. A lot of stars, no superstars yet, no X factors. Hopefully that changes here a little bit. But this guy looks really fun. He looks fun enough that, I mean, our sim offense has been great. We might have to consider changing it just to utilize his legs a little bit more. 3rd round, 71 center. He's going to start for us. Last pick I did make was Montrell Patterson. He was a UDFA grade corner, had A catching, A press. Terrible stats other than that. Still rolled at dev traits. So that's a nice little guy to bring up. I got to look not only at the other quarterback, but that D tackle. So the other quarterback, 77, Sebastian Ebert. What's the dev? Okay. And what about that Aaron Donald regen falls down to 5 for some reason? This guy's going to be an X factor. This is one of the best D tackles I've ever seen. If it was any other year, I would get just what a player. Hopefully my guy is right in line with that. At least a superstar. Do you guys really want to see? Do you guys really want the sneak peek? I'm going to do it really quickly. So we'll leave the suspense for anyone that didn't catch it, but I think very happy with the direction that our offense is going. Not overly worried about the price that was paid is another fair way to put that. Take a look at the defense. You got to admit, man, that Aaron Donald guy would have been awesome to have. But we do have the addition of Trevon Walker, which should certainly help out our pass rush. And I'm excited to see this defense take another step in the right direction. Last year was our best year by far defensively. Offensively, I mean, it still needs to be said, Kirk Cousins was playing like an MVP short list, never really like a finalist. Purnell needs to, you know, as a rookie, he is going to have to play at that level, or at least close to that level here in year 1, but he definitely has the traits to do so. Now in year 4, I was expecting a little bit of a learning curve, even with a really good quarterback prospect. Takes a little bit to get going, and we're, hey, top 3 offense in the NFL in terms of points per game. We have the number 2 passing defense, and we're only a game back in the division, so we could be a lot more upset. Plus, we coming off a nice Week 8 victory over the Buffalo Bills. Let's take a look at some contracts here. We have $80 million. I think we're going to have some turnover in corner. That's what I just set my focus scouting for, so I do want to try, and with, you know, a 2nd-round pick, because we don't have a 1st-round pick, get the top corner that is available. But we have Lewis Cine here. We get him to at least 30, and we'll offer him 48. Thinking somewhere in the 40s. Wants a little bit more. We have Christian Wilkins, who's been solid. I feel like he's one of those players that just gets everyone else around him better, so we'll give him a 3-year deal. Ryan O'Neal, well, you know what I like to do. I like to run my lineman into the ground. We're going to give him a 5-year, very player-friendly contract. Now that we're operating on a rookie quarterback contract, It's going to let us be a little bit more loose with our salary cap. So we'll definitely come back and pay Lewis what he needs. And everybody else, best of luck elsewhere. It cost us $500,000 on the salary, $1.5 million on the bonus, but we're able to get Lewis to sign for the next 4 years. And last year we went 11-6 with Kirk Cousins playing out of his mind. This year, the drop-off with a brand new rookie quarterback, I was expecting a little bit, like maybe 9 wins. We go 11-6, able to repeat. Offensively, we have the #1 offense in the NFL, top 5 passing, top 10 rushing defense. Maybe not elite, but I think it's reflective. Like a 95 overall offense should be top 10. 87 overall defense probably should be top 10 as well. But I don't know. Those are pretty decent numbers. Take a look at our stats of whom did what. As you can see, Justin Jefferson, a leading receiver, had 100. I didn't even know that was possible. 120 catches. And our quarterback's top 5, Deshaun Parnell, and he ain't 5. 5,200 yards, 42 touchdowns to 11 picks. And for an offense that doesn't scramble, those are still pretty good scrambling numbers for the Vikings playbook. Good Dwayne McBride getting involved, but Javonte Williams has been awesome. Steady hand. Justin Jefferson, 1,220 catches, 1,800 yards, 7 touchdowns, 13-12 for Jordan Addison, 1,012 for Eddie Whitaker. That was a former first-round projected pick that fell to us in the 4th round, and he is thriving in that C.J. Osborne role. Hawkinson was solid. We have Kevin Moon and Jordan Brooks both going over 100 tackles, 14.5 sacks, 110 from Travon Walker, 7.5 from Jeremiah Matthews, 3 picks for both Booth and Byron Murphy. I'm happy with all of these numbers, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Lamar Jackson wins the MVP, but Parnell at number 4 put him in that Kirk Cousins spot. Offensive player goes to Debo. We got Micah Parsons. Parnell wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, which you love to see. He's runner-up for Quarterback of the Year. I think I'm going to be honest. How? It has to be a touchdown thing, because there's no one that has more catches or yards than Justin Jefferson, and he's 6, dude. That's busted. There's no other way. That is busted. He's been absolutely incredible. And hell of a start, man. Hell of a way to start. But the big question still remains. After 3 straight years to start this rebuild with 3 straight wildcard losses, is Parnell, the new rookie phenom quarterback, good enough to get our first playoff victory and get us out of the wildcard round? Yes! 34-31. The Vikings taste a playoff victory on the back of their stud quarterback, who helped us get 17 points in the 4th quarter. To see that one out. I mean, he didn't have an amazing game, but he didn't turn the football over, which is usually what happens with inexperienced players. 300 yards and a touchdown. Javonte Williams got 2 tutties. Justin Jefferson was uncoverable. Defensively, we got 2 sacks from Hunter, 1 from Matthews, 1 from Byron Murphy. So, like, all our homegrown players. It'd be one thing, like, sometimes we get, like, an Aaron Donald late, and he gets 3 or 4 sacks. These are guys that are on this squad that are making the most of their opportunity, and they've suffered those 3 straight wild card losses. They want to get a little revenge here. So now we have a very nice divisional matchup. 91 Vikings against the 89 New York Giants. Saquon Barkley, I assume he got paid because he's smiling in this world. And oh man, the Giants are a tough team. They got a good running offense. They handle us 38-20. But we got that first playoff victory. That's annoying though. Seeing Tua cook. Steelers defeated the Bears in the Super Bowl, so at least it wasn't the Chiefs, Cowboys, or Bucks. Parnell, X Factor, 90 overall. Absolute stud. And I mean, I love this team. I think this is an awesome situation. Have both Jefferson and Addison hitting off like they did, able to replace Dalvin Cook with an equally good running back. We got a franchise quarterback. Defense is improving. Still has some holes too, though. Like, I think we're going to have to redo our secondary a little bit. We got to find that 3rd corner. We can always, if there's a stud safety, maybe explore that. Get some depth traits on the defensive line potentially, but really happy where our team's at. We're only going to be better. I think that Super Bowl is coming in the next season or 2, if I had to guess. Went into this offseason with the idea, don't really want to be spending too much money. Usually that's been something that's worked out well for us in these 0-7 rebuilds, is like, let's build through the draft. But I threw an offer in on Christian Gonzalez. If we get him, awesome. If not the end of the world, because we get to save a couple bucks, and he chooses the Bucks, and we'll just keep on with our plan of staying cheap, keep our money, let it roll over, and build through the draft. All right, so for our first pick in the 2nd round, this is a reach, but like, just What did Duck get the best player? We're looking for a nose tackle with maybe a dev trait. Nick Blackman is maybe him? Fuck. Well, our first round pick's actually our franchise quarterback, so that makes me feel a little bit better about the draft class. Blackman, still solid value. I mean, especially if we waited, we probably could have got him 4th, 5th round and got a 74 there, but some more depth up for the big dudes up front. So here we are at year number 5, the traditional end to a regular rebuild, sitting with 0 Super Bowls, but I think, like most times at around the year 5 mark, we're conditioned to have our strongest team of the rebuild, and I think that is very much the case here, as our squad is a 91 overall. And while we have the names, established names, I think the one guy that's going to make things go here in year 5 is going to be the continued development and breakout of Deshaun Parnell. Last year's most electrifying rookie, X Factor, 89 overall. We're going to reward him with a team captaincy, and he is going to try to do in 2 years what Kirk Cousins couldn't do in like 6, 7 years, and that is bring a Super Bowl to Minnesota. We've got off to a great start. Number 1 offense in the NFL. Top 5 defense, 6-1, sitting atop the NFC North. Let's look at contracts. We have $56 million at our disposal. Actually, that's a lie. That's $87 million. And we're going to have to spend a decent amount of it here. Like a lot of it. We're not going to be able to decide. This is going to be our first free agency. I think we're going to have to pick and choose just a little bit whom gets paid. First, Jordan Addison. He is going to get paid. We'll see if we can get him on a player-friendly deal. I got to be honest. TJ Hawkinson. He's been all rating. He's got what, like 600 yards a year. I like the fact that he does want to come back, but he's definitely not going to be a top priority. Daniel Hunter has been excellent. He's been our only consistent pass rusher, so we'll get him, the veteran, on a 2-year deal. I don't like 4 years for Jordan Brooks there, and there's no interest, so I think we can move on. Sparks, I do want to keep. Honestly, I'll give him like a 7-year deal. Anytime you can get a lineman like this to lock in, you get him to lock in. 7 years, 50-some mil, laughing. Especially at what that's going to be. Kevin Moon, we didn't pick up his 5th-year option. Maybe that was harsh. Because, I mean, especially, we don't want to be losing both of our linebackers. But I think this is another case of, you know, that's reasonable. For a guy that's ceiling could be in the 90s, potentially. So we're going to get him locked in long term. We have our Andrew Sendejo, another guy. Can we get you locked in? Just give me gigantic contract. That's something I haven't been taking advantage of in the first couple 0 to 7 rings, are like just beefing up and offering these guys 20-year contracts. You know, I think I'm going to go after Friedman. Same kind of deal. Get these guys just, you never know. You never know, especially if they're a guy that's just starting. You never know if they're going to end up with the dev trade and that contract's going to look a lot better. But I do think for TJ Hawkinson, we got to think with the stats, and he's always been wide receiver 4. Like he gets less numbers than our wide receiver 3. So it's just tight ends are not important. We're not going to value that position, even though he's a solid player. At the end of year 5, our best season yet. We go 14-3. We get ourselves a divisional title. This is the second time actually we've won the division. We won the division in year 1 with Kirk Cousins. But this is a new era, and I'm expecting the fellas here to have we got week 18 victory over Denver. We always will celebrate a weekly award winner, which is Parnell, 5 touchdowns. I can only imagine the kind of year that this kid had. Whoa, he's not even up there. And there's someone named LaShawn Overstreet. Parnell, come on, top 5, buddy. We got 6 in yards, second 50, Bob. LaShawn Parnell. He's a scrambler. He probably got those memes. He's not a quarterback, he's a running back. And then he just drops 50. This guy has a chance when all is said and done. And we've drafted a couple. Not a lot. I'm not super blessed in my rebuild series to have like a who's who of X Factor generational quarterbacks. But the list is not particularly long, and the fact that he started off this hot, he might, you know, we got a lot more years to go. He could go down as like the best quarterback we've ever had. And what better time than now? Javonte was nice. We got 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns. Jefferson, 13-10. Whitaker, 11-11 for Addison. This is just why we can't pay Hawkinson. I'm not going to pay my 4th receiving option $50 million. So, best of luck. Jordan Brooks had a big year. Of course, the year we decided to let him walk. 13 sacks from Matthews, 13 from Wilkins, 10 from Daniel Hunter, 7 from Travon Walker. Interceptions, pretty decent numbers across the board there. Look at the yearly awards. MVP goes to LaShawn Overstreet. Parnell runner-up with 50 touchdowns. I feel a little disrespected by that, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. It's only a matter of time. It's inevitable that we will get an MVP under our belt for our beloved player. He does win quarterback of the year somehow, which makes no sense. Unless Overstreet has like really good sim numbers. We had the better record and we're the better quarterback. It's just classic Madden doesn't know what it's doing. It just is what it is. Luckily, we're not sitting here needing these awards to get our guy to go up dev trade. It's just more personal accolades. If we want this guy to go down as one of the best quarterbacks, you know, it'd be cool to have 3-4 MVPs to go with it. But, you know, after getting robbed of the MVP award here, you're number 5, I think. Maybe that's going to be the kick in the ass for him to go on and not only win a Super Bowl, but start by absolutely destroying a bitter divisional rival. Just seeing what the Bears are good. I mean, they're pretty good. They're top 10 offense, top 10 defense, well-rounded team. Well-oiled machine. They got Will Anderson in the draft to go with Justin Fields. And it was a close one, 24-17. But we are now a win away from making our first Super Bowl appearance of the video. And it's the 12-5 Carolina Panthers. Top 10 offense, top 10 defense as well. The NFC very competitive here in year number 5. A little bit of a gauntlet. I imagine we're going to wait. Oh, it was Raiders-Chiefs on the other side. I thought this was going to be like a Chiefs have to hop in and play. Try to beat the Chiefs type Super Bowl. We roll the Raiders. 9-8 Raiders, who are, you know, they got Josh Jacobs. That's what they got. They have Josh Jacobs, and the rest is not. This has to be our first of 7 Super Bowls. Has to be. With all due respect to the Raiders, though, this is where you come to the conversation. Unless Josh Jacobs has like 300 yards, because that's the only thing they're good at. This is where the Madden Sim needs to be like, all right, you've earned your. We're going to give you the Super Bowl because your team's so much better in pretty much every measurable aspect. I'm expecting a 30 bomb here, but we will see. You know, Raiders do have a pretty good playbook. Should be able to keep them in this game. We just missed a field goal, which is bullshit. But 14-6, hit the field goal. 17, they get the instant touchdown to open up the second half, letting us know they're not going to roll over and die. And they've hold us to back-to-back long field goal drives. So we're chewing up a lot of clock here, which is not great when you're not putting away. 3 straight field goals from the Vikings, and all it takes is the Raiders one time. 4 straight field goals. I just feel like we got to come in here. I don't think it's this. If we don't win this one, it's been the longest we've gone without winning a Super Bowl in one of these series. So here we go. 3rd and 1. There you go. Easy as can be. Get it to Williams. Get outside. Chew this clock. What a, you know, not a prolific day in terms of touchdowns for Deshaun Parnell, but 400 some yards. That's tough to do in any setting. And there we go, fellas. The Minnesota Vikings finally have figured it out. They've broken whatever curse those fans think haunt their fan base. And we have won a Super Bowl title. Super Bowl number 1 of 7. Just write it down here. I'm writing, it's keeping everything on a sheet of paper so we know where we're at, because Lord knows we might have to go 20-some years. This will be a 5-hour video. Oppenheimer ain't got nothing on what we potentially could have in store here for the Vikings, but able to get Super Bowl 1, absolutely huge. We'll celebrate. We'll take in the ceremony. From here on out, we're not going to gloat. We'll just skip the ceremony until we hit that 7th one. But the first one feels nice. Deshaun Parnell, that is a legendary player in the making. And here's hoping over the next 10 seasons, we'll say. We'll give him that window. 10 seasons. We need 6 more Super Bowl rings. Give him the MVP here today. And let's roll it back next year in year 6. Get another one. For free agency, we can't spend like crazy. We spent heavy first 5 years, throughout the first 5 years. Now we're going to have to start saving our money to make sure we can keep what we got within the building. Going into this offseason, we need to add some depth to our wide receiver room. All the guys were kind of expensive. I think we could probably just cheese the draft, go for some deep threats. We need a tight end to replace Hawkinson, who is the best available tight end, which I think we might be able to do that during the draft. I got a tight end that I really like, even though I think he might be gone by the time that we pick. And we need a linebacker to replace Jordan Brooks, and that is where we're going to try to splash here a little bit. We have Rashard Marshall, a superstar dev linebacker, who is, I think, linebacker 4 overall in the market, but clearly in terms of age and dev trait, linebacker 3, the guy you want to go after. So we have the only bid. No one else is overly interested, and we're going to take that one to the bank. Sometimes you get a good roll. I did our scouting. Wide receiver here. We got Malik Shelton, deep threat. He'd be a guy that we consider in the first round, but I found a deep threat a little bit later on in the draft process. Looks to be some value here in Grant Chamberlain. 3 C's and a B. But I mentioned there was a tight end. He had double A initially. Andrew Gutierrez, first, second rounder, 6'4", 250, elite speed, elite agility, first in the 40, first in the 3-cone. This is the tight end that if you had to replace TJ Hawkinson, this is the guy you get. He is a top fit for a team. However, first, second round projection means he's likely going before we pick. I might need to trade up. I do want to look at the last mock draft here, see where Gutierrez is projected to go. Oof. All right, let's call Tennessee. And to move up a couple spots, 10 spots, we're going to have our second round pick. I would say that's arguably almost a slight overpay, given where we're trading up to. And also, we pretty much let TJ Hawkinson walk because I said tight ends just aren't really valuable in our scheme. But when you're in the business of talking draft picks, and it almost feels like you get the role. If you get the role, you know what I'm saying? You almost have to take advantage of that. When we need a quarterback, if there's a guy that's like, yeah, elite throw power, 4.3 speed, that is the role that's the sign. All alerts, go get this guy. When you get a tight end, when you need a tight end, that's a top fit for your team. Even though tight ends aren't super valuable, and at best, he's going to be our third receiving option behind Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. He looks really good, really, really good. I think the only knock against him would be his strength, and even that's great. A lot of times you do like to see elite strength on your tight ends to get the best dev trait possible, but Andrew Gutierrez out of Texas, hopefully the juice is worth the squeeze here. Draft guys, recap. Hey, here we go. Chamberlain, the wide receiver we found a little bit later on, 71, pretty decent. Got a 71 safety here, Justin Humphrey. He was a first, second round projection, still there in the 4th round. Don't know why. Notice the last couple drafts, there's been some guys that are just free falling for no real reason. I mean, you had no dev trait, I guess. But anytime you get out of this 3rd round, like into the 3rd round and beyond, day 3, I think over 70s, absolute hits. But Gutierrez cost us a 2nd round pick, and I think definitely worth it. Used our coaching tree ability to unlock the dev trait of Gutierrez. Not S tier, but really good. Definitely worth the 2nd round pick we gave up. How? Have you guys, is this something you guys have seen in the background? Montrell Patterson was a hidden dev corner that I had. I was like, yeah, whatever, man. We just re-signed our star dev corner. Fucking X Factor, what? Like, I literally was like, who is this guy? I've recorded this rebuild over 3 days. Went in, and when I was setting my extra training, my 6 slots, I was like, well, who should I give it to? I was like, who the fuck's this X Factor? Did I draft this guy? No, he's just been here for Lord knows how long. Okay. What? How long have I been missing this? So I'd like, this guy's like Keith Taylor. How did he get on my team? I looked into it. He was our 4th round pick in the Parnell draft class. He was a 67 hidden dev. So like, I never thought anything of it. And he's just been, you know why? Also, didn't even make the cutoff. Because he was a 67 overall, didn't even make the cutoff of like just your auto depth chart when you go in. Because he would have been corner 6 on my squad. Little did we, and how, like, on top of the fact of like, okay, you know what? The rich get richer. Your Super Bowl champion team just straight up finds an X Factor corner buried on your team. He didn't lose it. He hasn't been playing at all. He hasn't even sniffed the field, and there's been 0 dev trait regression. So Montrell Patterson, okay, now we know. The reverse Keith Taylor. So take a look at our squad. We got a brand new, shiny superstar at the tight end spot. I'm not going to really even put the pressure on, like, big shoes to fill from TJ Hawkinson. Want to see him do well, though. But everyone else is ready to run it back, and I think by the end of the season, Parnell is going to be our 3rd member of the 99 Club. On the offensive side of the football, defensively, well, we got a new fan favorite. Patterson is getting on the field, baby. Let's see it. We welcome Lewis Seen, also went up dev trade to a superstar. Didn't really do a final season recap. Matthews was on normal dev. He gained superstar, breakout year last year, 13 sacks. Again, we got Marshall in free agency to kind of complete the defense out here a little bit. But I'm ready to see it, man. I guarantee Patterson, now that we know who he is, he's going to get that Keith Taylor energy and have like 6 picks or something like that. Year 6, looking to defend our Super Bowl title. Sitting atop the division, 5-2. Happy with that. Look at our contracts. 22. Ooh, my God. All right. Luckily, it's not plentiful in terms of players that we need to look at here. Damn. Honestly, probably have to let these guys move on. I think the fact that now we just have like a free X Factor corner, that could be our long-term successor, long-term play as a starter, which Byron Murphy has been, and he's been great for us since he came over as a free agent. Multiple years of 3, 4, 5, 6 interceptions. Love seeing that. Ezra Cleveland's been solid as well. Just very expensive, and I'd have to overpay because there's no interest in re-signing them. So it's gonna be a tight budget season this year. Control C, Control V here. Year 5 to year 6, same record. 14-3, 14-3. That is how you let the league know that you're not ready to give up your Super Bowl title. Take a look at the stats here this season. An impressive season for Parnell. First in the NFL in touchdowns with 44. Good rushing attack. Justin Jefferson got his. Chamberlain, the rookie, he will take that. Even look, Gutierrez getting better numbers than what TJ Hawkinson was getting in the offense. Love seeing all of that. I will say maybe slightly worried that we could see the X Factor regression of Jordan Addison. Even though it's a solid year, 92 catches, 1,000 yards, 6 for a wide receiver 2. It's just the nature of the beast. It is something that we got to kind of prepare for. Marshall, our lone free agency signing, tackle machine. 146 tackles, 5 TFLs, 3 sacks, 2 picks. We got 10.5 from Wilkins, 10 from Daniel Hunter, 6.5 from Matthews, 6.5 from Trevon Walker. So sacks are down this year a little bit. Andrew Booth, 2 picks. Where's our guy? Patterson. There we go. Look at that. Not too shabby. Hopefully he doesn't lose a depth trade. He's been immune to that. Yearly awards MVP goes to Lamar Jackson. Parnell coming in at number 4. In the NFC, looking for some Vikings. Grant Chamberlain wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's on normal dev, so that can be a nice boost up to a star dev for our wide receiver 3. Parnell is quarterback of the year again, even though he just doesn't get any love whatsoever. In the MVP race, we get lineman of the year in Quentin Sparks. He's on a star dev, so that likely will be a superstar dev bump up for him, which is always really cool. So really happy with the team, man. Really strong season. Always expecting those wonky years that just for some reason your team just struggles to go above 500. And at least this year is not that year. We start off our playoff journey against the 9-8 Arizona Cardinals. We got Derwin James. I mean, he's an old man at this point. Not overly worried. They have a top 10 defense. That's kind of all they got going for them offensively. Not the best. Not a great playbook at all. And we're able to handle business there. Setting up a matchup against the Commanders with Chase Young, who's popping off. He's a guy in real life. No one really knows. Is he a bust? Is he not? He's an X Factor right now. 99 at that. But looking a little closer, just outside of top 10 offense. Solid defense is where they butter their bread. They're 88s across. That's a strong team. I think that's the cutoff. If I ever lose at any point, even with a team that's in the 90s, it's like 88. I'm not going to complain too much because at least you're like a good team. And we handle business. 41-23, setting up a Super Bowl matchup here in year 6 against Kenny. I don't even know if they have Kenny Pickett there. I don't know if I can say it, but who they got? Because I want to just see if they do have Kenny Pickett. We're taking on Najee Harris, who seems to be at least the leader of that offense in the Pittsburgh Steelers. They still got Kenny Pickett. Okay, Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris. Got our boy George Pickens, fan of the channel. De'Ami Brown. Ferrari most developed. Now you got Skoronski. This guy with 2 names. There's no way that's a real name. Brock Josephson. That is a fake name you give to a cop. But that's a really good offense. I did notice when I just clicked through here, they are at that 88 threshold. This is a game that I don't really know if there's a whole lot of room for me to complain if we can't see this one out and get back-to-back Super Bowl wins. This is a very strong Pittsburgh team. But we're also a very strong Vikings team. And we are defending Super Bowl champions for a reason. We have the best quarterback in the NFL, and Kenny Pickett is currently not that. So, I'll tell you right, with 9 seconds, this could be a little fun play. Come in, shoot a shot. Maybe go up 17-3. Where's Justin Jefferson top of the screen here, huh? They better hope to God they moved that safety over there. Oh, we'll just go Chamberlain, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Who are you going to cover, honestly? When you look at that, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, 299 X Factors on the outside. Inside, we have a superstar tight end, and then just in the slot, the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm like, oh, you going to do all that? We'll just run it with Javonte Williams, who's like a 95 overall. Or I could tuck in and run it with my 99 X Factor quarterback, who has 94 speed. This is a juggernaut of an offense that, like, unless you are prime Bill Belichick, it is going to be very difficult to stop us. And that is exactly what we're proving here. Holding only to 6 points. Great job from the defense here. Let's put this game away. Any points on this drive should be good enough. Touchdown would be ice on the cake, which is exactly what we get. And it's a snowball effect, man. You get one, the others start to drop. Year 6, Super Bowl win number 2 for the Minnesota Vikings. We're not going to gloat. It was business as usual. MVP for the second straight time, Deshaun Purnell. 343 yards, 4 touchdowns, 83% completion percentage. Stud. So this draft, we need guard. So it could basically consider that a lineman, best lineman available, or a defensive tackle. Someone to man the middle of our defense. I had a really good line on a nice D tackle in the first round, but of course, picking at 32, you're going to have to just wait and see. We got Johnny Fowler here out of Miami. 6'4", 315, B block set, B power, 8 tackles, C finesse move, and oof, this guy's probably our leader right now. Even though he's not a true nose tackle, that's 315 plus, probably the cutoff for you to feel kind of good about that. Man, I wish I had a little bit more scouting on these tackles to make a clear call. See some A's, see some B's. Looks kind of interesting. Now, I did scout this guy, Mike Lampman, triple B, 1A. Again, looks solid, great athlete as well. But I think there might be a little bit more depth here with these linemen that are going to be available in the second round. And there's only really one D tackle I like. Now, let me just go make sure there's not one of those like 370-pound D tackles that I could just draft easy. There's not. So we're going to go Johnny Fowler here in the first round. And then probably take multiple swings at finding a dev trait lineman that can start at left guard for us. But Fowler, definitely the right call here. Looks very good. Okay, we got to take a couple shots in the dark here on the line. We got 2 double A's. We have Colin Landry, USC, who importantly has a pass block. Combine, not bad, also not incredible. At the center spot, John Stevenson and Cam Brown both look like they could be serviceable. A with B. You almost want to just, out of all these guys, go with straight up the best athlete. Cam Brown out of Oklahoma, A and B. Combine looks pretty good. Major categories, top 3. Or at left guard, we have Carlos Kemp out of Alabama, the double A. You straight up know what you're getting. You're not getting a great run blocker. Combine, not the best. That's a guy that's probably like a 72 normal dev. So I think we're going to take a swing here. Cam Brown. And hopefully there's a dev trade here. And there is. Let's go. That's our new starting left guard. And look at the draft recap. Hey, that's pretty good, man. 76 with the last pick. 72 position in need in the second round. We got a 70 running back late. Happy with it. Starting out year 7, we did see the regression, unfortunately, last year that we're projecting a little bit in Jordan Addison. But he's already at that 99 overall, which means, I guess not having an X factor kind of stings. You always want to have your maxed out 3 X factors when you can on both sides of the football. But where it's just in the sim, I don't know how important that truly is. So, I'm still going to take my double 99s and my reigning defending Offensive Rookie of the Year in Chamberlain. As far as our offense is considered. On the defensive side, no real dev traits. Fowler's dev trait was unveiled. It's just a start F, nothing too crazy. But we're ready to run it back, and at least you get the one lone expert. Definitely want to see some dev trait going in the right direction here on the defense. That's a little too much silver for my liking. Marshall was silver. We look like Paul Wall's mouth, okay? Don't want that. All right, well, we kind of spoke this into existence a little bit, being like, when is that weird year where we're not good for some reason? And it looks like also Kansas City is getting hit by that a little bit. Mahomes not playing particularly well. But we're currently sitting bottom of the NFC North. We're only a game back at a first place, and we win 2-3 in a row. The record looks a lot better, but still being at this point of the season. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting to digest this. Looking at our free agents, $71 million. I'll tell you right now, we're getting this Anderson guy. I want you to do your 31. 31. What? No. Okay, we'll pay you more. I'll pay you even more if you want it. We have Owen Osborne. Centers are not really that valuable, but when you can get guys, probably like his ceiling's probably gonna be like 85, 86. Keep him till he's 30. These are the deals that are gonna help us out here long term. So we will come back for sure on Patterson. We have Jeremiah Matthews. Sim numbers have been pretty solid for him. I think if he'll take this 2-year deal, we just kind of keep on keeping on there. He might not ever be prolific, but he's solid. I think as long as Daniil Hunter wants to keep signing on, we'll give him 1-year rentals until he decides to hang him up. And then we got Christian Wilkins here. I mean, again, he's been solid. If he'll take this offer, sure. If not, let him walk. And he takes that offer. He has the mentor tag. He's going to help our younger players. We'll get Patterson here re-signed. We're good, man. We're good because we got next year's, I think the year we got to pay our quarterback. Our quality rose to the top here in year 7. Finished 11-6, first place in the division, but we have to run the gauntlet here, which is, it's definitely a step back as a 2-time defending Super Bowl champion in a row. Purnell still had a really good year, 45 yards, 7 tutties. Javonte was nice. Justin Jefferson was nice. Chamberlain and Jordan Addison, really nice numbers across the board there. Defensively, Marshall and Moon both going over 100 total tackles. 10.5 sacks Wilkins, Walker, and Fowler, the rookie. I love seeing a rookie nose tackle with 10 sacks. Andrew Booth led the team with 5 interceptions. It's you always like to see. MVP goes to Joe Burrow. Purnell at 4. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride for getting that freaking award. We got Johnny Fowler. He was star dev, 1 defensive rookie of the year. I'll take a superstar D tackle every day of the week. Purnell, 3 years in a row, he's been the best quarterback in the conference, but can't buy an MVP award. Andrew Booth was runner-up for DB of the year. We start our journey here, have to run the whole gauntlet against the 9-8 Cardinals, a team that I believe we beat last year, which we handle business 35-7. Up next, team, however, when you're having an off year, you don't want to run into the 11-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh my God, we're running the gauntlet here. If we can beat Tampa and Dallas, we deserve the Super Bowl. Just give us the Super Bowl now. And it was too good to be true. You can't run into 2 of the top 3 stupid sim teams and expect to likely win those games, even if you are the better team. And unfortunately, Dallas got the better of us. Here in year 7, our Super Bowl streak ends at 2 in a row. At least Dallas lost. That's a win. Just a kick in the pill, start the offseason, as we lose 2 very long-term valuable starters, as both Brian O'Neill, our highest-rated lineman, and Daniil Hunter, our, I think it's fair to say at this point, legendary edge rusher, have both decided to retire. We go into free agency, really just having to replace those 2 players, and I think I found an edge rusher. It looks like a strong tackle class, so I'm going to go after edge here because we don't have a top 5. Like, if I'm outside of the top 10, I don't feel really confident. Usually edge rushers don't fall out of the top 10 that are worth drafting. So we got Darnell Thompson here, 26 years old, 81. Hopefully we get him. We're acting like we get him, but I assume we're going to get him. His interest is there. But, I mean, just a pretty good athlete, 6'2", 267. A little bit short, maybe not have S-tier length, but, you know, massive shoes to fill. You're going to be our new Daniil Hunter, buddy. Hopefully you can do that, but with 88, finesse move, great athleticism, I think he can do it. So we need a tackle. Sitting have to wait to pick 29. Never ideal, but is what it is. Kind of comes with the territory. The 3 tackles that we did scout are still available, which is nice. We need to pick between, we got the D pass block there on Crosby's not the best. But we have Aldridge, who's a 2nd, 3rd rounder, AA, C, and B. Looking at the combine, elite acceleration. Pretty good athlete across the board. Bench press, a loaded Warsaw, but he's athletic. Kind of in the same mold that Brian O'Neill was. We got the AA, B, and C on Grant Ali. He is at least a 1st rounder, has the strength. So do you go with strength? Do you go with athleticism? I think for a right tackle, 6'8", 335. Let's go, Grant Ali. Sling him over there to the right tackle spot. And, hey, 1st round pick, only free agency signing. We replaced what we lost. Honestly, Aldridge is still there. I think we could utilize that. That's still a really good player, great athlete, and with that athleticism, could probably play across the offensive line. Around going back on the O-line, man, they're the BPA. It's a strong O-line class. Hit these guys now, and then don't have to worry about drafting and replacing anyone down the line. Mike Jackson comes in, hitting dev guard. Look at our draft recap, and I am, actually, we'll say I was a little disappointed with my kickers, my special teamers. We had to replace both kicker and punter. Thought they were going to actually kind of suck. They did have A accuracy, but they all had pretty bad ratings for kick power. But whatever, we will take that. And our lineman, 74, Mike, I didn't know he would be the best. 74 hidden dev for Mike Jackson, 73 hidden dev for Aldridge, 73 hidden dev for Grant Ali. Now we're just going to find the right combination. Here for year 8, the 2030 season. And for those keeping track of, this is actually day 3 of me recording this rebuild. It is a grind. Actually, I don't know. That's the auto set. I didn't really love Darisaw there. Aldridge actually gets the start. For some reason, he's getting the +2 boost over the 1st round pick, Ali. But, I mean, best guy placed. The fact that we had 3 hidden devs, I want the single best one. I don't care where you're drafted. And there we go. Aldridge is going to be our temporary replacement and maybe potentially long-term replacement for Brian O'Neill. Rest of the offense is who you know and love. On the defensive side, big shoes to fill for Thompson, our free agency signing to come in and replace Daniel Hunter. But expectations are that he'll be close. I think he'll be close to a double-digit guy. Maybe Travon Walker steps up and becomes our premier pass rusher. But we go into this year licking our wounds to last year's playoff loss against Dallas and need to get back and get that Super Bowl number 3. 7 games in year 8, 6-1, sitting atop the North. The Lions right on our ass. They're not going away. Had a weekly award winner in a shootout against the Bears where Parnell 6 touchdowns, almost 400 yards. Yeah, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. If not the best, and he is chasing down the MVP honor this season. But let's take a look at our salary. Oof. Well, luckily we have a lot because we're going to have to spend a lot. Parnell gotta just it's just close your eyes, give him the biggest offer, and make everything else work. So we get Javonte Williams, probably could be, running backs are just never going to be that valuable. He definitely was better than, say, Alex Madison when we started this rebuild, but not enough to justify what it's going to cost us at this price point. We got Darisaw. Let's give him a player-friendly 3-year deal. Keep till he's 34, 75. He wants longer, okay. Does he not know that I love to ride my lineman into the ground? Pause. That's what we're going to do here today. We have Lucine, Andrew Booth. Booth has got Defensive Player of the Week twice already. So I kind of want to keep him in the building. Let's see, 3 years, 53. He wants more money as well. These are tight negotiations. What about Scene? The least likely guy that I want. And of course, he's the one that signs. But confident with our remaining salary cap, we'll get Darisaw and Andrew Booth across the line. Darisaw, 1 extra season, which is what he's looking for. So we got him for 4 years. He is going to retire a Viking. And for Andrew Booth, we'll bump this up to 11 and like 8.5. I feel like that should be enough. 3 years, 58. Yes, sir. Finished the 2030 season 12-5. Another NFC North title. The number 2 offense. Top 20. Defense took a little bit of a step back. Luckily, we were at least top 5 stopping the run, which is worth something. Deshaun Parnell, 3rd in touchdowns, 49 tutties. Looks good. Javonte was solid. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, both those guys. Gutierrez at tight end, 14 touchdowns. 2nd on the team, but Addison, I moved him to the slot, thriving there. Rashard Marshall, 121 tackles, 5 interceptions, 5 TFLs. Patterson and Moon also going over 100 tackles. We got 9 sacks Walker, 9 from Fowler, 8.5 from Wilkins, 7.5 from Matthews, which means the man that we brought in to where? This guy we just signed. 2 sacks for Thompson. I mean, our defense was Walker, Fowler, and Wilkins was like our front. I guess that makes sense. Andrew Booth, 6 picks. Glad we re-signed him. He might be an X factor when all is said and done. That contract could age well. Joe Burrow wins the MVP. Purnell coming in at number 3. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Looking through the individual awards here for some Minnesota Vikings. Purnell is quarterback of the year. Quentin Sparks wins lineman of the year. That's the 2nd time he has got that award. Andrew Booth wins DB of the year, so we're going to be all eyes on him making the jump from superstar to X Factor. What better time than now at 30 years old for Andrew Booth to put it all together? We start our playoff journey here against the New York Giants. 9-8 should be a winnable game. The Giants are good, 88 overall, top 10 offense. Our defenses are very similar, but they don't have a 95 offense. That's what we got going for us. We should be able to score points on just about anybody. And wasn't a shootout, but we did enough to move on to the divisional round against the 90 overall Seahawks. We talked about this earlier. Anytime you get a team over an 88 overall, I think that it limits and it sets the min-max on how angry I could be if we lose. And that's every team we faced on this side of the bracket. We handled the Seahawks 35-20 in a game that we got Travon Walker, 3 sacks, defensive player of the week, setting up a championship game here against a very legit Commanders team. 88 overall again. Young looks like an absolute bot. I'll tell you right now, that's something I'm already thinking. The wheels are churning in my head. Madden 24 franchise mode comes out. I'm going to unveil probably next week, maybe we could start talking about maybe unveiling who my team's going to be. Like guys like Chase, like that's a guy you might want to trade for. Take a look at the Commanders here. They have a top 5 offense, top 15. Again, very similar defense to us. We're in the same area code, but we put up a lot more points than they do. They're 14-3. They were the top seed, the 1 seed in the NFC, and the Vikings have done enough to make our 3rd Super Bowl of the rebuild as we get our eyes locked and loaded on the Chargers here to get Super Bowl number 3. It is the 11-6, 87 overall Chargers against the 12-5, 93 overall Vikings. A matchup we feel confident we'll be able to go in and do some damage. Let's go, man. Super Bowl number 3 would be good to get this one under the belt. Because, I mean, for 7, we're almost, like, 3 is close as you can be halfway. I'd like to be halfway before year 10. Because then hopefully it means we're not going a full 20 years. Even though I know that's a style of rebuild. People do 20-year rebuilds. But I'd like to get out of here. You know, never want this to go longer than it has to. That's almost a reflection of, you know, it takes too long. I didn't do a good enough job. So we got the second half start now. We get the first touchdown. The second half go up 7. But there's been lots of good defense here by the Chargers. We get back-to-back touchdowns in the 3rd, starting to pull ahead. But the Chargers can get hot. They get a touchdown on 4th down in the 4th. Touchdown here should put the game away for us, barring an epic collapse. We're up 31-17. They get a garbage time score. But that is enough to get Super Bowl win number 3 for the Minnesota Vikings. 4 more to go for us to close things out. But I'm optimistic we'll get there, man. I think we might be able to snowball this again. I mean, really, we got 3 Super Bowls in a 4-year period. Deshaun Purnell, already the greatest quarterback in the history of the Minnesota Vikings. And look at the box score. We'll give the Super Bowl MVP. I'll give it to Justin Jefferson. 8 catches, 111 yards. Good on him. Well, from the Super Bowl, we lost Javonte Williams. Well, we let him walk. This is a look at our squad. Jordan Addison got back up to a superstar. Aldridge is a superstar. Jackson is a superstar. Oh, man, we got to get him on the field, dude. We got 3 hidden dev linemen. 2 of them are superstar. Those are a rarity. How do I get him on the field? The Brown. We might need to trade Cam Brown. Oops, I don't mean to throw you up on I hate that. Come on, that's not what I meant to do. What can we get for a 81? He's a great player. Absolutely a great player. What kind of value can we get for that? Let me find the team that looks the most interested. Antoine Winfield at safety. Do we have anyone offering a running back? If someone straight up will give me a good running back. We got Von Carter from the Falcons. That might be the guy we need to go check. We're at that point, though, where I have no idea who any of these people are. Who are you people? Okay. So out of all the players, I mean, we got the Raiders offering Jacoby Cole. See, this is something they need to get better at. I need to be able to like see these offers and be able to open them without acceptance so I can see what I'm doing with. So Jacoby Cole from the Raiders. And we have up here Von Carter from the Falcons. Von Carter, 79 star dev running back. I'm a little interested. Good power back. Cole from the Raiders is a normal dev. So I think we're going to take that offer from the Falcons. And we got now Carter in the backfield. And who would have thought the Purple People Eaters would now, in 2031, represent the Vikings' dominant offensive line? The first pick, not bad. The 2 of the guys that actually projected might be available at 32 at wide receiver. We just have no depth at wide receiver. And Justin Jefferson's getting up there in age just a little bit. I'm also looking at safeties. And both the safeties I scouted are still here. We have Donnell. Yeah, let's make sure. Let's talk it through. Let's get the best fit. We have Donnell Walton, B hip power, A man, B tackle, C zone. Athletically speaking, good, not great numbers. Not an elite athlete, but he's probably going to be a solid player. We have on the other side 2 safeties that could both be solid, but I'm looking more so at Will Dems at 6'2", 222 with A man coverage, B zone coverage. I'm seeing coverage stats on the guy that's usually a big time hitter, and ooh. That's going to be pretty tough to knock off Will Dems. These wide receivers are going to have to be ridiculous. You got Will Norwood, just has the deep threat, a deep route running. Not so worried about the catching. And he's also pretty good. And then Trent Davis, triple B and a C. And he runs a 4.2. Oh, I feel like there's no bad option. I feel like for me, this guy looks a little bit more out of the ordinary. So we're going to select Will Dems in the first round, ladies and gentlemen. Looks good. I want to go grab one of those wideouts. So I'm able to strike a deal with the Colts. They have the 3rd pick of the 2nd round. I said our 2nd round pick, and their top need was running back for some reason. Don't know why. I think Jonathan Taylor was still on the roster. But we gave him a running back. Our backup stringer, 75, only 24 years old. Still has some upside there. And we're going to use that to pivot towards getting a wide receiver here. So let's go and grab the right wide receiver. I think it's the first one. You're going to go the guy, the deep threat. Even though he doesn't have the A deep route running. That looks, Trent Davis. He looks like he's going to be good, man. Don't suck. He looked pretty good. It's going to be hard to trump last year's draft. They're getting 2 superstar linemen. But Will Demps, yeah, he's going to be probably, a top 5 player in the draft class. And while we did just re-sign Lucine, he's 30. And it adds competition there. Demps, you could probably make this guy a freaking linebacker if you wanted to. I mean, the rating would shift down a little bit, but he has the build to be able to make that change. And then we got Trent Davis, 74 hidden dev, which is awesome. We kind of punted the rest of the draft, but did we have number 1 true talent? Oh my God, look at this. 85 running back to the Browns. Jesus. What? It's been a minute since I've seen a play like that. Well, yeah, the 2nd best player in the draft. That's pretty cool. An hot start here in 2031, defending our Super Bowl title. We're 6-1, kind of pulling ahead here in the NFC North. Let's look at our contracts. $62 million. Justin Jefferson needs to retire a Minnesota Viking, and he just wants more years. At least the financials right. I thought 4 would be a mo. You want to play to your 40? I'll give you an 8-year deal. We have Jeremiah Matthews on the defensive line. He's been solid for us. I'd love for him to take a medium neutral deal. He's great on that front 3. We have Grant Chamberlain at wide receiver 3. I mean, he's been good, but the fact there's no interest there, and we just drafted a hidden dev wide receiver, I feel like there is where we could save a little bit of money. Plus, you don't need to invest that much into the wide receiver room. Christian Wilkins looking for a 1-year deal. I mean, if he'll take that. If not, I think we can probably look to get younger at that position. So yeah, I mean, we'll just come back, make sure we get Justin Jefferson. I think we can get him 5. I'm going to straight up give him a 6-year contract, and we're rolling. We close out year 9 with our 5th straight divisional title, going 13-4. Our team, the number 1 offense, top 5 defense, feeling pretty confident that this could end up being Super Bowl win number 4. We're getting that snowball effect that we've been looking for. I will say what's annoying is at the midway point, Deshaun Parnell, our quarterback, was 2nd in yards and 1st in touchdowns. I was like, oh shit, might have a chance at MVP. Kind of fell off pace there a little bit. Finished 9th in yards, 1st in touchdowns with 49. I mean, I just feel like, I don't know if it's ever going to be enough for him to just outright get the MVP. Because he's so freaking good, man. He deserves it when all is said and done. Running back room, regressed. We don't really need him, to be honest with you. Justin Jefferson, ridiculous. 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, 12-14 for Jordan Addison, 7-9 for Gutierrez, 6-8 for Chamberlain, 5-4 for Trent Davis, who is going to get elevated into Chamberlain's role. And I think he'll be able to do that. And look at him, just a star dev. I mean, yeah, we got lucky last year with 2 superstars, and we got lucky this year with a brand new X Factor, which we'll see where he's at. He's actually our 3rd leading tackler. I got him on the field by making him our slot. That's why we have 3 safeties and a bunch of tackles. Will Demps made the most of his opportunities there. 81 X Factor. I mean, again, we literally talked it through. I wasn't even outright considering him. And then we looked, and I was like, oh, he's still on the board. It's not that hard. I feel like if you watch my content regularly, you should be, at worst, pretty good at drafting. But anyways, looking at our defense, Christian Wilkins leads the team in sacks. Sacks have been something that's running that 3-4 defense, man. Sacks are quite the anomaly when you talk about 3-4 defenses. Interceptions there, linebacker leading the team. MVP goes to, there we go. I thought I was always going to allude him to Sean Parnell. Wins the MVP and absolutely deserved it. Looking at the rest of the awards here. Trent Davis wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. That would be actually juicy. We can have a free superstar wide receiver to add to the X Factor Jordan Addison, to the X Factor Justin Jefferson going into year 10. More weapons for the MVP. Deshaun Parnell also was the quarterback of the year. For the rest of the awards, I don't think we're going to have much on the defense. We do not. But our team is ready to rock and roll, man. What a year, Deshaun Parnell. But first, we have the 9-8 LA Rams. Met them last year. They got a good offense, terrible defense. I want to see us dump 40. Dump 40, dump 40, we dumped 30, and it was closer than expected, and now we gotta try to beat the Bucks. Tampa is, even though they're not Tampa, they're still Tampa. At least that's the best thing in my mind, is as we close out Madden 23, it's gonna be the last year the Bucks are the Bucks. And it's an absolute shootout, 45-42. Almost 100 points scored in a I mean, the Giants and Lions game was also pretty good. Ooh, the Chiefs losing on the other side, which is great. But 45-42. And it's the MVP, Deshaun Purnell and CJ Stroud going neck and neck. And luckily, Purnell, even with the blemish, with the interception, able to get this one and get this Vikings team back into the NFC Championship game. And with that, I believe we're taking on the New York Giants, who were the 1 seed. The team that actually finished better. Did they have the same, like a tiebreaker, or were they outright just a straight up better record? So they had the tiebreaker. 13-4 Giants, 13-4 Vikings. We have the number 1 offense, top 5 defense. They have the number 4 offense. Defense, nothing too special. So I think we have the advantage this one, but it's not always the case. We've had a couple bad losses. That was an ugly win, 21-16, but enough to get us back in the Super Bowl, an opportunity to run it back, become back-to-back Super Bowl champions, get Super Bowl number 4 of 7, and now we are taking on the 12-5 Kansas City Chiefs, or Cincinnati Bengals. We're so accustomed just saying it's the Chiefs. It's not the Chiefs, it's the Bengals, arguably the Chiefs' biggest rival, and they're pretty good, pretty well-rounded, top 10 offense, top 5 defense. This should be a banger, and I'll say right now, they're 91 overall. This is one of those ones, best team's gonna win. I didn't just give you that John Madden analysis. Best team's gonna win. Just to speak. Just get the word count of this video out. This is like, if we lose, that's a really good Bengals team. There's no real reason to get triggered, because they are legit and definitely deserving of, like, they can beat my super team that we have here in Minnesota right now. But their defense is showing up. We are going to need to get some points here. We get the touchdown. We go for a 3rd down. We didn't accept the field goal attempt. I love it, and I feel like this team's so good. I'm going to give them the sign of respect that I've yet to give to anybody else, and that is hopping in on the sticks and just, you know, getting a little taste. Getting a little taste. And I'll take a slant. I'll not only a taste of cheese. We got Justin Jefferson, top of the screen. Purnell, Jordan. I mean, this is awesome. Davis in the slot. He won Rookie of the Year. He went up to Superstar. Spoiler. So we got plenty of options here. We're going to go to the Rookie of the Year. Davis, 97 speed, runs away from the slot corner, and the deadlock has been broken. Vikings go up 14-7, trying to get more points here. Red zone trip, 21-7. Bengals just not going away, though. Luckily, we are trading touchdowns. Every time they get a touchdown, we will get a touchdown to increase our lead, and we are going to be able to see this one out. Garbage time score for Cincy, but we are able to get Super Bowl win number 4 over a very, very good Cincinnati Bengals team. A team that if they can maintain, who knows where they're at in terms of age, but if they can maintain, we're probably going to see them back here again, if not multiple times. Might get a little bit of a mini rivalry here, but outstanding job, and MVP, I'm giving it to the MVP, Deshaun Purnell. Super Bowl 4, we got 3 more to go. It's up for retirement as Christian Wilkins has decided to retire after 13 years. Which now would make Justin Jefferson our oldest player. So in case I forget, and he retires this offseason, next year, something like that, because he's going to be 34. Just a quick look at where Justin Jefferson, I mean, look at the two-headed attack, man. Justin Jefferson, 1,200 catches, 17,000 yards, receiving 118 touchdowns, and then right on his ass, especially for touchdowns. Jordan Addison, 11,000 yards, 108 touchdowns. One of the best, if not at this point, the best 1-2 punch wide receiver. Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, eat your heart out. We're not changing our playbook, but we're going to strengthen our squad of old Doug Peterson's coming on as our OC. Replace Christian Wilkins, there's just an X-Factor D-tackle that no one wants. So, yeah, we'll take him. So for the first round, I mean, this whole draft, I targeted corner. That was a position that I focused on, and, well, we got some guys. Best of the bunch might be, let's just see. Best athlete, probably the best one. Jeremy Abraham, double B, double C, combine. Pretty solid, has elite acceleration, great jumping, great change of direction, great strength. Or we scouted Richard Vincent at a UCLA, more of a slot mold. 3 Bs, D zone, which is fine, he's a man corner. Pretty good combine. Yeah, we'll go this one. This isn't particularly the best draft that I was looking for. I did make a second-round pick here to running back out of 73, just solid depth. Rest of the is what it is. But hey, Vincent, 74 hidden dev. Not too bad with the last pick of the first round. And why do we have that pick? Oh, it's just because got our 4th Super Bowl. Now, all eyes on Super Bowl number 5 of 7 here in year 10 upcoming. Midway through year 10. We are now in the big year 10, chasing our 5th Super Bowl. I'm on my 5th day of recording this rebuild. I'm finishing it today. Today's Tuesday. This isn't uploaded and in your guys' face holes by Tuesday night. Something terrible has gone wrong. We are 5-2. Let's actually sim this one here. This is a big game. It's a huge game. Actually, we'll set up our national scouting focus. Give us a little bit of help. Corner. Yeah, let's get a little bit younger at corner. That's probably the best spot to go focus in on there. And it lines up with our lead scout. All right, so we got a big matchup here for first place in the NFC North. 5-2 Vikings, 5-1 Lions. Love to just get a nice little sneaky victory here. And that's professional. Wasn't high scoring, didn't kick the shit out of that. Actually, let's go another one. This is another big-time matchup in the North. It's really going to come down to the Vikings, Lions, and Bears. All these teams are competitive, and we get the sweep, man. I'm feeling confident. Feeling really, really confident. Let's take a look at our contracts. We have $66 million. Oh, shit. And we are not going to be able to pay everyone, I don't think. Okay, well, Addison and Gutierrez are the big two. Gutierrez has a little bit more of an interest. 5 years, 77. Get him locked in. Jordan Addison, much like Justin Jefferson, at this point in time, kind of really sort of want them to retire as a Viking. We're going to have to pay. And, of course, Travon Walker now up to an X Factor. Okay, we got Travon Walker. With that remaining money, we should be able to get Jordan Addison. And we're going to be down another edge rusher that's just not getting on the field. And a running back, which are interchangeable in our scheme. But with that remaining $2.5 million, we're going to have to try to get that long-term extension with Addison. Or we wait till the end of the season where we get that little influx of salary cap and pay him then. But I am all in on re-signing Jordan Addison. Wow, I didn't think that was actually going to... We have like $600,000 of remaining salary cap left, but we got the deal done. And at year 10, not only are we still good, not only are we still great, we put up our best record yet of the rebuild. We've had a couple 14-3 seasons. Our first 15-2. We are the 1 seed in the NFC. We're feeling good. We're feeling great. Deshaun Parnell, actually, a little, I don't want to say regression. A little bit, though. A little bit off the pace of what we've been putting up. He's got the MVP, so maybe he thought, let's run the football a little bit more, which we didn't also really do. 12-8 for Justin Jefferson, 12-10 Trent Davis, 11-11 for Jordan Addison. Solid year from Gutierrez. Defensively, Marshall, lone 100 total tacklers. Sacks are still not great. Honestly, probably shouldn't have paid Travon Walker, if we're going to be completely honest with ourselves. But it's hard not to try to pay an X-Factor pass rusher, given how much in demand that those are. Looking at the NFC, trying to see if we got any Vikings here. Ooh, Richard Vincent, defensive rookie of the year, our corner. He's on star depth, so that could be a superstar boost into our secondary, on top of the fact that we've already focus scouted corner in the upcoming draft. So we are definitely trying to replenish the talent in that room. And we still have the veteran Andrew Booth, who was runner-up for defensive back of the year. But luckily we handled business in the regular season, able to kick our feet up and await our opponent in the divisional round, which is the 10-7 Falcons. Still got Kyle Pitts there doing the damn thing. Speaking of what they got under the hood, they're solid defense. That's about it. Not worried. This should be, honestly, I think we should just kick the shit out of almost every team. But there we say that, and then we're looking at almost a 90 overall CPU built Seahawks. The Seahawks, well, they got Bosa, but they have a top 10 offense, top 5 defense. So this is close. This is easily, I feel like it's the 2 best teams in the NFC meeting, and you never can really complain about that. And we just pretty much put on full display with a 42-17 victory in the NFC Championship game. That there's levels to this, and right now no one is on the Vikings level. And I swear to God, if we lose to a team that we are 12 overall points better and they were just 1 game above 500, I'm gonna write a letter to somebody. Let's go, baby. Super Bowl 5. Not saying it's a layup. Not saying that whatsoever. What I am saying is that this might be the Super Bowl that I feel the most confident going in out of the previous 4 that we have been in. And as much as, you know, we're at the ass end here of Madden 23 season, I will say, generally speaking, Madden 23 Sim, it's not brutal. There's definitely been worse years. And I'm saying this as we're kind of just blowing the Super Bowl here. We'll come in on 4th down. You're giving me 4th and 5. We want to be aggressive. We want to get points. We want to throw it to Justin Jefferson, who this could be his final year in the NFL. We have Jordan Addison, signed a new contract. We're actually going to fire this in. Jordan Addison at the sticks. Just get the first down. Let the fellas continue. Don't need a big shot play on 4th and 5. Let's keep on going down the field here. Let's get a touchdown. Let's go up 3. Exactly what we do. Defense. They can't get off the field on the Colts. Go for it on 4th down. We get another 4th down. 4th and 1. Gonna bring up the running back, who knows that he's not getting a new contract. This might be his last moment of glory before he cashes out and goes to a purgatory poverty team. And we just railroad. Absolute railroad. Go! That's the best roll. You just got like the RNG roll of like everybody pancake. Every single person pancake a mother effer. And that's exactly what we were able to do. Kill the game off. Super Bowl win number 5. Again, there's a reason I don't like getting a lot of gameplay in, right? We're not playing on all Madden. It's mostly a sim series, but when we do come in, when they need that little push, we will give them that little push because we are trying to do something that's very difficult, and that is win 7 freaking Super Bowls in a single sitting. And luckily, we only have 2 more to go. After, I mean, who's going to be, I honestly, looking at this, I'd get Jordan Addison, the game ball here. Super Bowl MVP, 11 catches, $125. Let's go. Run it back again in year 11. Just in case you decide, again, anytime we win a Super Bowl 2, you always worry those veterans are going to go. There's a snapshot of Justin Jefferson, 18,000 receiving yards, 126 tutties, which has him at number 3 all time. I feel like if he runs it back, I mean, I would love to see him catch Jerry Rice, because Jerry Rice's record so. But I think he comes back one more year. We might be able to push Chris Godwin. As far as tutties are concerned, definitely a little off the mark for touchdowns, but he'd get it again coming back for another year. Jordan Addison likely will finish on this list as well when he decides to hang him up. Both of our coordinators got poached. I feel like this is a good opportunity to switch up our defensive playbook. We are running a 3-4. So I had the Patriots and we have the Baltimore Ravens, trying to get like which one in terms of sim numbers. I think we'll go Baltimore. I don't know. Change the playbook up. Hopefully we can get better production. Did have a retirement. Was it Justin Jefferson? It was Christian Darrisaw. Has retired after 12 seasons, giving us a massive hole at left tackle. We'll go for just best lineman available. Mike Lampman played a little tackle at Clemson. 6'4", 341. A little bit more of a right tackle than a left tackle. That's fine. We might have to shuffle around the O-line, but we just add in another superstar dev lineman to the Purple People Eaters up front. Take a look at the draft here. I did scout the running backs. And, of course, where we're picking at 32, there was a couple nice running backs. None for us. Tremaine Smith looks like the best available option. ABB, 6'1", 223. Good athlete. Was actually first in the 40-yard dash. But he's a third, fourth round projection. He's got AKA. We want to target him in the second round. Other needs for our team. We need an edge rusher. And we did at least get, a very one-dimensional edge rusher here in Carlos Richardson. Power rusher in Is He Ever. A power, A tackle. Is he athletic enough to stand up? Because that's what we need. We need a 3-4 edge. We did focus scout corners in this year's class. And there's a couple good ones. Look at this guy. Virgil Davis out of Maryland. 3 Bs and a C. Pretty good athlete, but not great. I almost really, in the first rounder, you need to be a great athlete or my board better be terrible. And that's not necessarily the case. So I think all things equal, we're going to go... We're going to go Carlos Richardson in the first round. We'll grab that running back in the second round. Let's go. Not a lot of speed. That's good burst. All you need is good burst. And he has that. 88 acceleration. This works out kind of well. I want just a run on running backs. I want that running back. And to get pick 2, in the second round here from the Bears at actually, I think this is pick 10. They want my running back that I want to upgrade from. So maybe they have information we don't about the draft class, but as it stands right now, I will ship off our depth running back and get a brand new shiny one that's going to be on a fresh rookie contract. 3 running backs just went off the board, so now was the time to pounce for Tremaine Smith. Please, well, we got to go up that 76 normal. At least he rolls with a dev trait. And, like, looking at those stats, he's probably going to be 73, 74, somewhere in that range if I had to guess. The board kind of sucks, so I'm going to maximize the fact that someone wants to trade up, and I'm going to kick this second-round pick for a second-round pick next year. Kick that old can down the road. We got what we wanted out of the draft, and that's a good roll. Carlos Richardson, 75 hitting dev. Tremaine Smith, 74 hitting dev. I guess in a perfect world, I would have been able to also find a corner, but those just don't necessarily grow on trees. Also, we need to see what happens when we switch Richardson. He's going to be our right outside linebacker. Play on the other side of Trevon Walker. I think the rating's probably going to tank here a little bit. Hopefully not too bad. Goes from 75 down to a 73. Could have been worse. Could have been better. It is what it is. But we got 2 nice rookies that will start right away for us as we begin our quest for Super Bowl number 6. That's a dub. That's a dub right there. Let's start for Super Bowl number 6. Here is how our team looks. Super team. You could probably call it that. This is one of the best offensive lines we built. We have a 98 at tight end, a 99, 99, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. Just our third option, also a superstar. Brand new, flashy running back. The best quarterback in the NFL. What's defense look like? Defense, not as good. Still, no weakness. Every starter has a dev trait. Now, we did lose the X Factor on Boykin, but that's fine. That was an absolute bargain that we got in free agency. Richardson was our first-round pick. He popped with a superstar dev, which, honestly, that's probably enough for me to make sure he gets on the field. I might have him start as one of our sub-pass rushers, which it is right there, actually. Richardson, Boykin, and we'll go Trevon Walker there. Fowler's younger. It doesn't matter at this point. Doesn't matter. Really, the only person that's not having Lucine is gone down dev trade. He's regressing to that point where he's more of a special team role player right now, which is fine because it's a placeholder, it's a new X Factor in Will Demp's, which is awesome. Booth has been holding on to an X Factor. He has been outstanding down the back end of his career. Was kind of at, solid at best for the first couple seasons. Now he's at a legitimate shutdown corner. I'm good. We're happy. Super Bowl 6, it's coming. Hey, interesting. Not our best start. Third in the division right now. Not too far off, only a game back, but okay. We haven't really faced this much adversity earlier on. It's been a minute, but we're still good. We're still fine. Everything's fine. We got Johnny Fowler. Give him 5. Let's lock him into he's 31. And he wants more years. He wants more years? Okay, we'll give you 6 years. Give you to your 32 if that's fine. Rest of... Ooh. Okay, we got some decisions to make here. Can move on from. Was one of our homegrown guys that we found, but he's just... maybe just give him 1 year if he wants to take it. All right. Done. We got Mike Jackson. The great Mike Jackson. Give him 5 years. Don't want to let... it's so rare for linemen to lose dev traits. They pretty much only lose dev traits when we get to an age, like a certain age. So, we're going to get Mike Jackson. We'll figure that out. Matthews, if he takes a 1 year, he's been like just a solid role player. Good, more of a run defender than he's a pass rusher. But another homegrown talent that I kind of want to keep in the building. Allridge at left tackle. Well, he's everything you want in a franchise left tackle. So we'll go player friendly. We'll get him 6 years. I don't even know if we're going to need that. I think we should. He wants more. 7 years these guys are looking for. 6, 7. That's how much they want to stay a part of this. I do think we're going to have to replace both of our linebackers. It's not really a position that we can pay for, overpay for. So I think we solidify the offensive line. We get Andrew Booth here, who I don't want going anywhere. We'll go 10.5 and 8. You've been awesome. No, come on. You don't want to go and finish somewhere else. Sign, please, sign. Well, the big issue was years, which is actually going to give us more salary to re-sign Andrew Booth. So we got Fowler, gave him an extra year. We have Allridge, wanted an extra year. We'll give you 7. Done. Shit. Okay, we're going to have to... Wait until the end of the year to re-sign Booth and Jackson. But that is still going to be, like, we don't need much money. I need probably another $3 million of salary cap to get those ones across the line. And if this is our adversity, I guess there's worse types in the world, because 11-6 still not that bad. Definitely underperformed versus the standard, because we were 15-2 last year, and I don't think we got worse. But apparently we did, and we didn't even win the division. Shout out to the Bears. Congrats to them. But we still go into the playoffs. We're the team no one wants to see. We have to run the gauntlet in the wild card. We're a 94 overall. No one wants to see us. I will say, Purnell, stats still great. Don't get me wrong. But he's definitely peaked during his MVP season. And has kind of since then, you know, he was the best quarterback in the NFL. Now he's kind of regressed to like, well, he's top 5 and he's not probably 1 or 2. Which kind of sucks, but is what it is. Smith in his rookie season, under 1,000 yards. It's just what it is. We need to go value at running back. They're never going to be big-time players in our scheme unless, you know, unless we have like a Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison retirement, and we're going to have to like alter and pivot here. But outstanding season for Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Very happy with those numbers. No one else really performed up to the standard, but those guys were ridiculous. They both went off. Marshall and Moon, their final year with the squad because we just can't afford to pay them. Go over 100 tackles each, 13.5 sacks Boykin, 12 from Travon Walker. Love seeing the sacks get where they at. We are with the Baltimore Ravens playbook, so we're getting a little bit more love there across the board. Looking at the awards real quick. MVP goes to Joe Burrow. Purnell at number 3. So, I mean, maybe the season wasn't that bad. Jordan Addison wins Offensive Player of the Year. Love seeing that. I believe that's the first time we did it. Tremaine Smith, Offensive Rookie of the Year. So that could be a cheeky superstar running back in our future. Parnell was runner-up for Quarterback of the Year. Addison and Jefferson, 1 and 2 for wide receivers. Just what? I mean, if you're clicking this as a Viking fan, you couldn't get a better rebuild. Your 2 big guys that you're hoping are going to be 1 and 2 in the NFL for, like, combo, eventually. Maybe not year 1, but you're hoping, like, within the first 3 years, Jordan Addison, Jefferson are right up there in the conversation with, like, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And they have absolutely delivered here in this rebuild. And I mean, while here before we get to the playoffs, because again, you never know when it's going to be the last year of their careers. Just admire it, man. 20,000 yards, 136 touchdowns, Jefferson, almost 14,000 yards, 133 touchdowns for Jordan Addison. 3 years less. Addison's touchdowns are off the chains. He's definitely gonna, you know, pass Justin Jefferson as it relates for receiving touchdowns, which, taking a look at this, Justin Jefferson has finally cracked the list. Yeah, when all is said and done, I think we're going to have both these guys on the list. 136 there. What about yards? Oh, man. I hope we can catch him. That's one record I don't think I've ever got. I've got the rushing records. I've got the rushing yards records. I've got the rushing touchdown records. I've got passing touchdowns. I've had the passing yards records once. Hard to do with Brady. But I don't know if I've ever caught Jerry Rice. This might be the club. We're probably going to need 2 years. Justin Jefferson, give us 2 more years. I'd appreciate it. I don't know if he will or not. But we're trying our best. At least right now, he's second all time behind the GOAT. At least at wide receiver. Because you know for me, my GOAT's Reggie White. But we're the Road Dogs here in the first round against the Washington Commanders. We're just 7 overall points better. So I think, again, I like my team against anybody. And we handled them easily. 35-21, setting up. Man, we have met the Seahawks probably more than any other team in this rebuild in the playoffs. But that being said, I think they've only beat us once. I think they've only got over on us once. They're a good team. Top 10 offense, top 5 defense. We're top 5 offense, top 10 defense, so kind of the inverse. So I'll give them respect, even though there is a 7 overall point difference. They're a good team. They could beat us. It was close. 27-24, and here we are setting up an NFC championship game. The battle of the NFC North. 89 overall Bears, 94 overall Minnesota Vikings. Look at the tail of tape. It's classic Bears. Good defense, offense, kind of average. This would be a bad. They're 89 overall, which again meets the threshold of me. If we lose, I'm not going to lose my mind. But man, that would be frustrating. And we handle business ugly. 28-19, meeting for, well, it was 2 years ago. Our 4th Super Bowl. We're right now. We are in our 4th straight Super Bowl. But it was 2 Super Bowls ago, we beat the Cincinnati Bengals. This time they are out for blood as a 92 overall team, 16-1. Number 1 offense in the NFL, top 5 defense. This is even though we are not the underdogs, this is the first time we are probably in storyline, in character, the underdogs. Can the Bengals avenge the year 9 Super Bowl loss? Can they prevent us from our 4th straight Super Bowl? Can they prevent us from Super Bowl 6 of 7? This is the biggest test we have. 16-1 Cincinnati Bengals. And I'll tell you right now, not coming in. This is going to be straight sim. If we can beat them, fine. If not, this is a team that if I have to concede a loss to break the streak of Super Bowls, 16-1 Bengals team, I guess. But luckily, we're starting out hot here. Touchdowns trading in the first quarter. We kick the field goal. You never want to be the team that settles first, but points are points in a game that's going to be pretty tough for points. They get a touchdown. Wow, I hate that shit. They got 2 quick touchdowns in like 10 seconds. And then we missed the field goal. Yeah, the writing's on the wall here. It's what happened at the end. You can't have it close, and then with under a minute to go before halftime, let them score a touchdown, turn the ball over, and let them score another touchdown. We're making it a little bit competitive here, but I have my doubts. We need a touchdown and get the ball back. Oh my God, I want to come in so bad. Oh, I want to come in so bad. Oh, I should have. That would have been fun. But you know what? That was a historic year for the Bengals. Kudos to them. Oh, I should have came in, though. God damn it. Okay. Fine. I mean, at least for the first wave, things could change. First wave, Justin Jefferson is coming back. He has his eyes set on Jerry Rice. He had 1,600 yards this year. He balls out. Crazy things can happen. All right, so we're here trying to negotiate with our outgoing free agents. Mike Jackson. How much does a franchise tag cost? 14 mil. Worth it. We're doing it. Worth it, because I'll be able to get him on a long term. Next year, Andrew Booth, even though he regressed, would like to keep him in the building, so we'll go 12 and 8.5 is our best offer. If not, oh, there we go. If not, we'll look at his stats and wish him well. Now we have 12 mil. I would love, in a perfect scenario, to be able to keep at least one of our linebackers. And I don't think we're going to be able to. We can offer a deal to Moon. And he does take it. All right, we have no money, but at least we don't have to replace both of our middle linebackers. We're going to go into the draft needing a new middle linebacker. Other than that, we're looking fine. So first round, how do we stay on top? How do we get back on top, honestly? We got knocked off. Well, we need a linebacker. That is our biggest need. And it's decent linebacking class. It's really down to like these 3 guys. We have Mike Polk out of Iowa, 3 B's and a C. Didn't go to the combine, so that's a little buyer beware. We have Rashawn Howard out of San Diego State. Not as much information. We only have the C pursuit, but pretty decent athlete. All things considered, 4.57 speed. That'll do just fine. Or we have Keith Gant, who I scouted. I just saw he had the double B. Would have loved to see an A in the zone coverage. 6'1", 240. But this is the athlete of the bunch. Even though the three-cone 20-yard shuttle aren't particularly good. He still has elite speed, elite jumping. I feel like this guy, I wish I knew a little bit more about Rashawn Howard. But we need a middle linebacker. I guess when all things equal, go with Gant. Better athlete. Better athletes tend to have dev traits, which is exactly what we get here. Keith Gant, welcome. You are going to start as a rookie for the Minnesota Vikings. We have 2 second-round picks. Always like Sean. Hey, wide receivers are getting older. They're getting older. Let's get some athletes in here. Replenish. Just looking through. I mean, a safety wouldn't be the worst thing. Let me look at like Doug Jackson. If not, I found a center. Found a center that would be nice. I do love the bench press. Usually guys with strong bench press have crazy amount of hit power. But we have a center who I'm going to assume is related to the great other Steve Hutchinson, Minnesota Vikings, all-timer. Our center's our only normal depth starter as well. So, you can never have enough depth. And take a look at the draft recap. Keith Gant, 73 hidden dev linebacker, not brutal. 73 for Tequan Barton, 74 for Steven Hutchinson. We hit on a 73 guard a little bit later on here. Jackson Batch, hidden dev out of Boston College. Just replenishing the O-line up a little bit, especially because that guard, Mike Jackson, not not the other one, the one that's on my team, not the creep. In case we can't get a long-term extension, we got 2 new hidden dev linemen ready to step up if need be, if contracts go sour. Good draft class, man. I'll take 4 70-plus hidden devs. All right, here's year number 12 for our super team. Crashing and burning. Super Bowl last year. This is a motivated unit. Justin Jefferson. Eyes on Jerry Rice's records. He's 35. Probably need 2 more years. If we place 2 more years, we're going to get it. He's going to be the best, most productive wide receiver in history. Have the Super Bowl. He'll pass Jerry Rice. We only have 1 more year. Yeah, might be. I mean, if he plays up what he did last year, if he gets 16, he's been good for 14 to 1,700 yards. Maybe we'll be able to. Defense looks good. First round pick Gant gets to start alongside Moon. No weaknesses on this team. Maybe our secondary is started to diminish here a little bit. Strong safety. Patterson's regressed. But still, you're not going to have a complete team across the board. I'm optimistic. Midway point, the 2034 season. We are back on top 6-1 in the North. Let's talk about some contracts here. Heading this matchup against the Niners. Who wants to get paid? Who doesn't? Oh, shit. Okay. Feels like we have enough. We have enough to pick one. Patterson and Clifford are regressing. Matthews is regressing. Boykin, not one of our own. I can't re-sign any of them. All right. Really need to win a Super Bowl this year because our team is definitely going to be a lot worse next season. I'm not going to be able to replace all this in the draft. The end of year 12, back where we belong. First place NFC North champions. Top 5 offense, top 10 defense parameters looking good. Parnell, awesome, 47. But, nice little uptick in the touchdowns. Nice little uptick. Tremaine, we didn't run the ball. This is probably the least we've had in terms of rushing, so hopefully that means our passing numbers are off the charts. 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, 14 and 17 for Jordan Addison. Almost 1,000 for Gutierrez. Trent Davis in his final year with the Vikings. Going to have an opportunity now to become a wide receiver 1 somewhere because we can't pay him. He had a nice, respectable year. Moon, Gant, and Andrew Booth all go over 100 tackles. 10 sacks, Trevon Walker. 4 picks, Vincent, who's going to have to step up. He's going to have to be a new starter for us at corner as Patterson is going to be walking. But the rookie Gant, nice, man. He played well. And he's a superstar. Let's go. That is a decent little bonus for our squad going forward. Love seeing that. Yearly, imagine if he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. That might be a potential X factor. Parnell, 3rd in the MVP race. Jordan Addison, back-to-back years as Offensive Player of the Year. Love seeing that. Heath Gant does win Defensive Rookie of the Year, so we might have a chance to flirt with an X factor at linebacker. Parnell is Quarterback of the Year. Jordan Addison, Wide Receiver of the Year. Nothing else for the squad, but still appreciate everything that they've done. Taking a look at our records. Receiving touchdowns. Where's Justin Jefferson? He's moving up the list a little bit. I'm going to assume he's retiring this year. Going to assume that that's the case. I would love him not to. But $150 there. Jordan Addison right behind him. They're both tied at 150. Addison definitely still has another couple years in the tank. I feel like, honestly, Addison's going to go until we're done the video because I'm assuming we'll get our Super Bowls here. But Addison definitely realistic chance for him to get into the top 5, which would be awesome. Yards, we are a season. Justin Jefferson needs to come back for 1 more season. You give me 1 more year, and you can be the GOAT. Come on. You can easily get 1,200 yards if you come back 1 more season. Come on. Please do it. If not, I appreciate the push. He put the chase has been on. It's been almost the last 2 years watching that more than me trying to get our Super Bowls. But we're able to kick our feet up because we earned the first round bye. And in the divisional round, we're going to be taking on my beloved Philadelphia Eagles, who have, honestly, not 82 overall, no right to be in the playoffs. That's a terrible team. This one's going to feel like we're taking my beloved old dog behind the shed and shooting them because this game should be 42-17 at most. Ends up being 56-24. Worse than I expected. Parnell and Dez Parnell, 7 touchdown performance. Holy shit. That's going to be a record. I don't know if any quarterback's ever got 7. That's like the Eagles. Like, what did Brady put up in the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl? Might have been close. Either way, run into Seattle again. Our biggest foe throughout this rebuild into the NFC, which is kudos to the Seahawks. They give us a close matchup, 30-24, but they know, we know, with what we're going to be losing in terms of free agency, got to get that Super Bowl, because it might be another couple years for us to get built back up potentially. So we need to maximize this 99 overall offense while we have it. And what stands between us and Super Bowl number 6 is the 10-7 Jacksonville Jaguars, 88 overall, number 1 defense in the NFL, but their offense sucks. So this better not be a sim. This could be a sim where I'll accept if we don't score 30-plus points, because their defense is very good. But you better not see the 21st ranked offense that's averaged 24 a game on my top 10 defense giving up like 40 points. So rule number 5, baby, let's put it in the bag. Going up against a great defense, but we're an even better offense. And we get a nice little 7 bomb, start things out. They did hold us to a field goal there, but it's been a very dominant first half so far. Our defense, only giving up 7, is pretty impressive, I think. Defense is great. We get the nice little touchdown before the end, up 10. And it's low scoring. There's a turnover, man. Oh, my God. Multiple turnovers in the third. No points scored. Jags get a field goal. They turn the ball over at midfield. We need points here. Come on, fellas. There we go. Get the field goal and the turnover. Come on. Seal the deal. It's going to be it. Let's go, baby. Super Bowl number 6. Jacksonville. Who has fallen to us? We beat the... who did we beat first? Las Vegas. We beat Pittsburgh. We beat Chargers. We beat Cincy. We beat Indy. We lost to Cincy. Now we have added the Jacksonville Jaguars to the hit list. Super Bowl win number 6. We got one more to go. MVP in this one. Might be his final game. Give it to Justin Jefferson. 9 catches, 121 yards. Hopefully he comes back for one more year so he can pass Jerry Rice. Third place our DC. Not in love with our defense, so we got to take, let's take a look at Denver's 3-4 play block. Maybe we'll get some better production over defense with that one. This is kind of funny. Got to hire a new offensive coordinator. Look at the only one available. Former Green Bay Packer head coach Matt LaFleur. Tell you what, though, I'm sticking with my offense. Unless we have an exodus, just Jefferson retire, I think our offense is fine the way it is. He's going to come here and adapt the Kevin O'Connell offense. No! It's over. Both Booth and Jefferson retire. Damn it, I didn't even get to look at Booth's stats because he probably had 20-plus interceptions, 25 interceptions. But Justin Jefferson finishes and retires second all-time in yards. To just a season behind Jerry Rice. I wish he played till he's 40 like Jerry Rice did. But with him retiring, that does allow us now to throw some contracts up. So first we got Sparks. So he has the interest here to come back, so we'll give him a 2-year deal. One last lineman we have to replace. Trent Davis at wide receiver. Well, if you want the opportunity to be an outside starter, even though you did lose your dev trade, we'll give you the opportunity. You know the playbook. You know the offense. Mike Jackson would be the other one I would like to keep, but we just drafted his replace. 91 is tough to replace, though. I mean, we'll offer him this if he wants to stay. He wants to go to a new team. That's fine. I'm not going to hold it against him. Marcus Boykin on the D-line. I mean, he's already regressing. So, yeah, these are just some of our older players we got to usher out the door. Maybe we can get a couple of steals, a couple of affordable guys in free agency, but a lot of importance this year on the draft. Replenish the talent that we're losing. We're going to need don't need a new guard. I think we'll be able to shuffle one of the hidden dev rookies we drafted last year, but we're going to need a new defensive ends. 2 new, 3, 4 defensive ends. We're going to need a new starting safety, and we're going to need to add a little bit more depth to the corner room. Clearly one guy in free agency that kind of fits within our budget. That would be Wayne Newsome. We can land him. We got our safety room figured out. Plus with 6'2", 220, we need a strong safety. He's built like a strong safety, but we need 2 new corners. Can't afford any of the top upgrades. We're going to have to find one in the draft. We need 2 new defensive ends. Those, outside of like trying to get our guys to run it back, just don't exist as well. Knowing that we only need 1 Super Bowl II, this is the frustrating part because it's like, oh, dude, we're so close. Just come back for one more year. But it's not there. And we need maybe a wide receiver 3. No affordable wide receiver 3. They're very expensive premier players So we're going to need, honestly, an all-time draft if we expect to be, I think, remotely strong enough to assume that we can win the next Super Bowl next year. All right, fellas, this is a gigantic draft. We need legitimately 5 new starters, 5 players that have to come in and contribute right away. And the bad news is that wide receiver is probably the least needy, and the best player that we have available, I think, is this guy. Deshaun Hardwick, 6'5", 230, A catch of traffic, B deep route running, B release. He runs a 4.28. I think we're gonna have to pull the trigger here. The only other top candidates, there was a defensive tackle in Amani. I mean, there is some depth here at D tackle. I think McKee is going to be nice, but there is some guys here in day 3 that could be serviceable. We need 2 defensive linemen. And we have Amani McKee here out of Georgia. Double B, double C, but he has the top bench press reps. Now, if we can get a great role, and he's going to be available in the second round, we could do so. We also need 2 corners. And we scouted corners this year. KJ Hurst, 3 Bs and a C. Looks very legitimate as an option for us here. But the combine, not as good as the wide receiver. And it's kind of what we're knowing. And we had a couple studs. Larry Simmons, Jason Scott could be solid, but I did scout Simmons because he had a pretty good combine to boot with the stats. And he's a first, second round talent, third, fourth round. So, like, the fact that, like, if we can get this wide receiver and then maybe trade to get McKee in the second round and then get Larry Simmons in the third round, I feel pretty good with 3 out of the 5 that we need. So we're going to have to really work the draft board here a little bit, but we're going to start Deshaun Hardwick in the first round. Let's go. That's a good start. Somehow skipped super fast, and we still made McKee the selection. He was available. I literally at this point went and I skipped to next round. Oh, it's because I won the Super Bowl. Fuck! Well, we got our guy. We got our guy. That could have been terrible. Honestly, could have been terrible. Wasn't thinking. Now we're going to the third round. Larry Simmons is still on the board. Jason Scott. I'm honestly going to skip until Jason Scott gets drafted. And then as soon as that happens, we're going to trade up for Larry Simmons. Scott went off the board early in the third round. We're going to try to trade up here with the Houston Texans. And we can get by giving them just lots of depth. They either want my starting safety, a second rounder next year, or I can just give them a bunch of depth. One of those is a depth trait tight end. And we're going to do that. On the clock at Big 4, we auto-picked McGee, which is awesome, but I don't know if he's dev trait. I don't know what anything there about him, but hopefully Larry Simmons is dev trait, which he is. Let's go. We get the perfect roll of the draft. Fortunately, there's no D tackle worth grabbing here later on. So we are going to be... what's this guy here? He's not a... 299 Ron Battle. Double B's there. What's the combine? It's not good. Undersized and not an athlete. So I think we are... But yeah, you can always kind of maneuver around not having a full defensive line because you can just run a lot of subsets and stuff like that. So now we need to see if we can find another corner. We did scout this entire corner class. It was our focus scout. Is there anybody left that's worth drafting? That is the question here. Casey AA. And he's 6'2". Is he fast? You got elite jump? All right, we'll go Eric Casey and another dev. Let's go. Fortunately, there's no D tackle worth grabbing here later on. So we are going to be... what's this guy here? He's not a... 299 Ron Battle. Double B's there. What's the combine? It's not good. Undersized and not an athlete. So I think we are... But yeah, you can always kind of maneuver around not having a full defensive line because you can just run a lot of subsets and stuff like that. So now we need to see if we can find another corner. We did scout this entire corner class. It was our focus scout. Is there anybody left that's worth drafting? That is the question here. Casey AA. And he's 6'2". Is he fast? You got elite jump? All right, we'll go Eric Casey and another dev. Let's go. Well, Russ Finnegan at linebacker, and there's another dev. A 4.26 wide receiver. Can never have enough of those on the team. Oh, it's our first non-hitted dev. Damn. Look at our draft recap. Needed a good draft. Got exactly that. It was my kicker. Ah, okay. My kicker looked way better than my punter. And my punter comes in 71. My kicker 67. Both normal devs needed a kicker and a punter. McDougal 70 normal. Finnegan 70 hidden dev. Casey 70 hidden dev. Was he hidden dev? Yes, he was. 6'2 as well. Great value. Larry Simmons traded up to get him. First, second round talent, fully scouted, did the homework. 74 hidden dev. We got McKee at D tackle. Is there a dev trait there? There's not. Okay, that was a little bit of a bummer there. But still, that's a guy right now. Run stuffer. Should be able to plug and play. Won't be flashy, but will be up there at least to contribute. And Hardwick, what a pick. 6'5", 230. Fallen to us. Last pick of the first round. I guess, I mean, it's a DK Metcalf effect, potentially. We were like, oh, that guy's too athletic. Don't want him. All right, our team has fallen below a 90 threshold. Our roster, we're going to have to add some depth here. Going to have to add some depth to the run. But, all right. I mean, no Justin Jefferson. Hardwick, our first round pick. We did get a lot of dev traits, but the big one, starting with a star dev, doesn't invoke a lot of confidence. But it is now Jordan Addison's team, the veteran. He has to step up, him and Parnell. I mean, we got a good running back, so maybe we can rely on him a little bit more. Offensive line, enduring. We're enduring, but we had to lose a little bit. Gutierrez. Again, I feel like it takes a village. We're down Justin Jefferson, which sucks. But now we can rely a little bit more on our 99 superstar tight end and our 87 superstar running back. On the defense, this is where I'm a little worried. Like, we're going to take McKee, and we'll make McKee a right defensive end. I don't think his rating's going to suffer too much. Could potentially go down a point or two, but because I think it's a scheme fit, we're looking for run stuffers, maybe it could go up. And whoa, that profile does not match the player. But anyways, yeah, okay, we'll have McKee, our second round pick. Front three, it's not pretty, right? It's not pretty, but it's still anchored by a 97, which is awesome. The rest, we got Travon Walker, 84 X Factor. Mooning Gant in the middle, solid. Richardson, solid. Safety duo, we brought Newsome in free agency. Got Demps, who's one of the best safeties in the NFL. Secondary, we're relying a lot on youngsters. Vincent is the elder statesman, and even then, he's 24 years old, 82. But we have Simmons, who's a 74 hidden dev. Casey is a 70 hidden dev. I would love for one of these guys to not be a star. That'd be pretty freaking cool, I think. When all is said and done. But it's going to be tough, man. This, honestly, we're at the end of this window where we went to 6 years. Out of the last 7 years, we've been to 6 Super Bowls. This is kind of like the downside of that. It's like, all right, well, we burnt the candle at both ends. This is what you're left with, but we still have more than enough talent, I think, to be competitive. And let's see if we can get that 7th Super Bowl here in year number 13. Backs against the wall having doubts about my squad, and they shut me up right away. Here in 2035, being like, we'll just be undefeated. We'll just be flirting with an undefeated season. No worries. 61 mil. We got Will Demps up first. X Factor safety, one of the best safeties in the NFL. I'm gonna have to pay him. Owen Osborne at center. We did draft his replacement, but he's also been steady and he wants to come back. Anytime anyone wants to come back, who am I? Who am I to say no? And this is kind of the swing, the pendulum swinging back in our favor last year. No cap, couldn't re-sign anyone. This year, too much cap. Don't really, we're going to have some extra. And I think with Kevin Mooney, he's likely going to regress probably down to an 80. I don't think that contract would be particularly good. So I think we're going to go into this potentially offseason. Who knows? We might win a Super Bowl. But I think we'll be looking for a new middle linebacker. Take a look at this loss. Tough loss. Probably should have won, especially giving up 17 points in the fourth quarter. Quarterback played well. Definitely anytime you lose within the division, kind of stinks. Now to magnify that loss, week 8, that was the one blemish on our record. 16-1. We were 15-2 in year 10, but 16-1 when I thought we had our weakest squad yet. We come out top 5 offense. I mean, again, the rankings aren't ridiculous. Nothing out of the blue, but unreal, man. And it was everyone else. It took a village. Quarterback arguably had one of his weakest years. 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. But Tremaine Smith, we relied on our running game a little bit more. Look at that, 20 rushing touchdowns. Jordan Addison stepped up as the new wide receiver 103 catches, 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns. Gutierrez, the tight end, stepped up. Hardwick, first round pick, stepped up. Defense stepped up in a big way. One of the best units in football. Over 100 tackles for Kevin Moon. We got 12.5 sacks for Von Walker. He stepped up. Love seeing that. Secondary didn't really, honestly. Just because we didn't get turnovers doesn't mean they weren't playing well. Top unit. Joe Burrow does win the MVP. Looking for some Vikings. Jordan Addison, Offensive Player of the Year. That's the third time he has won that award. Man, I don't think we want to run into the Falcons. Top quarterback. Okay. Jordan Addison wins Wide Receiver of the Year. Love seeing that. And I'm happy with the numbers, man. Good numbers across the board. I feel like maybe we're slightly, obviously, with 16-1. We are a better team than we are individuals. Let's get this final Super Bowl. This team's 16-1. They're ready to go. They've only tasted defeat once. That's the one. We got it out of the way. We're winning from here on out. 3 more wins. We have our 7th Super Bowl. And the Vikings are the best franchise, the most successful franchise in the history of the NFL. And we meet up with the Bears again. Last time, I believe that's who we beat last year in the championship game. This year, Bears, I mean, everyone kind of regressed, it feels like, in the NFC. I assume we'll probably run into Seattle at some point, because we always do. But we handle business. Holy, 63-20. This team here is truly something special. Look at that stat line. Parnell. Wait a minute. Okay, so we got LaFleur. But where are we getting those rushing? My offense is still my offense. My scheme, I changed up my defensive scheme because we got Denver. But we're still running O'Connell. Yet, we've never had those rushing numbers. Like, we got a dual threat rushing performance out of our quarterback. That is, okay. I mean, he should be. He has 90-some speed. I want to add some speed to our backfield, so we're going to grab the fastest running back available here, Joey Rowland out of Auburn. I mean, honestly, doesn't look the best outside of the athletic traits. And I'm going to gamble on athletic traits all day long. And you know what? He's not playing, so it's not the worst thing that he doesn't have a dev. But better have a good rating. 65 yards, 3 rushing time. Like, I don't think he put that up in the regular season. Look, we literally like did his whole regular season rushing yards in a game. Okay, you know, I'll chalk it up to the game plan. Maybe that was the game plan that worked out, trying to maximize different skill set. All right, NFC Championship game. We have the 13-4 New York Giants. Pretty good number 1 offense, number 3 defense against a number, I mean, technically they're probably better than us. Even though they're an 86 overall. Hell of a unit. It's going to be tough. We lose. It is what it is. Dust ourselves off. But we are able to hold on to a victory, 28-23. Parnell, 3 touchdowns on the day. Gant, our new stud linebacker, had a sack, an interception, and a forced fumble. So 2 turnovers. Appreciate them. And we are going back to the Super Bowl here in the 2035 season. Standing before us is the Tennessee Titans. The 12-5 Titans, 88 overall. Pretty good defense, rushing offense. We know what they're doing. They're still the same Titans. Derrick Henry's long gone. They're still the same Titans. They are standing between us and our 7th Super Bowl. Let's bring it home. Let's go, fellas. I can smell it in the air. Super Bowl 7. It's Tennessee. They're not good at anything. Come on. First touchdown goes to the Vikings. We've held them to 2 field goal attempts. Second touchdown goes to the Vikings. Tail of the tape of the first is touchdowns for Minnesota. Field goals for Tennessee. And in the Super Bowl, you need a whole lot more field goals to beat a 16-1 juggernaut squad. But they have an opportunity. 28-14. 2 straight touchdowns. 3 straight touchdowns for the Tennessee Titans. The Vikings are choking this one away. Holy shit! Fuck me! Pardon my French, what? 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 How do we lose that? Up 28-7 at one point. How did we lose that? Trevon Walker retires, so we're going to be in the market for a pass rusher. How did we lose that? So we're coming back with a little bit of a vengeance here. I'm going to try to outspend just about everybody. Fill all of our holes. Crazy. We got a 87 new middle linebacker. We got an 86 pass rusher. An 84 D lineman. He's going to shift out to one of our defensive end positions. And we got one of the top corners, Eric Wilbur, 6'2", outside profile. So the first round of the 2036 draft, I am just trying to target someone that can play on our front 3. Of course, everyone that I scouted gone. We did scout Stanford, double A, undersized, could kick outside. Pretty good athlete. We'll grab him, and that's a good roll. A little bit of a reach in the first round. He was projected to go a little bit later. When you find your guys, get your guys. 73 hitting dev D tackle. Worked out pretty well. Got a 72 running back there. Isaiah Chisholm out of Kansas. Hitting dev. Love seeing that. Bring some juice to the backfield. But it's the damage that we did in free agency that I think is going to propel us on an absolute revenge tour to make up for blowing what should have been an historic Super Bowl. Let's go! 2036 season. 6-1. Maybe we can go 16-1 again. But it's just the revenge tour, man. This more than any other year. We're gonna figure it out. Tell you right now, we're winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't even have the money to pay my players, so I'm not gonna worry about it because we're winning this year. And if not, well, just a couple steps back, and we're going up against Marshall Falk's kid here, Malik Falk. We did it again. Let's go back-to-back 6. I mean, maybe that's a curse. Maybe before we start high-assing it around, maybe that's a curse. 16-1. Purnell was solid again. We had a good run game. Jordan Addison does Jordan Addison things. Defense, Keith Gann is thriving as our new stud linebacker. 13 sacks. Carlos Richardson. Gabe White with 9. Interceptions, 6 from Richard Vince. That's a breakout. Love seeing that. Understudy formerly of the great Andrew Booth Jr. Yearly awards, Nick Williams wins the MVP. It's kind of burning through the NFC. Looking for some Vikings. Isaiah Chisholm, our fourth round pick at running back, somehow wins that. So that's pretty cool. We'll take that. Jordan Addison, wide receiver of the year. Quentin Sparks, lineman of the year. But that's a third or fourth time Sparks has won offensive lineman of the year. We get best linebacker in Richardson. We get best DB in Vincent. So that's a whole lot of dev traits, I suppose, if we can't find a way to get our 7th Super Bowl here in year 14. But optimism is at an all-time high that we're not going to choke this back-to-back years. And first up in our sights, below 500 Atlanta Falcons. And they're not, there's nothing, they have a good pass defense, I guess. Other than that, not a whole lot of redeeming qualities on that Falcons team in regards to them being a playoff contender. And we have another below 500 team here in the Rams. But I guess at least they're like an 88 overall, which is lit. But look at that, that's terrible. Get these teams out of our way. The easiest path to a Super Bowl we have had. And we are able to at least handle business and get revenge. Copy paste year. Last year we lose to the Titans in the Super Bowl. This year, let's make amends. Come on, don't lose again. Come on, I don't know. I think I would hate Tennessee if we can't find a way to win. We get the first touchdown of the game. Back-to-back opening scores. This is how I can't even get excited because we kicked the shit out of them for 3 quarters and then somehow let them score like 35 points pretty much in the 4th. So we're up 21-10 going into choking this one again. 21, okay, we get the nice little touchdown. 28-17 going to the second half. So at least the tail is set for us to blow this lead. They get a touchdown. We get a touchdown in the 4th. They are not going away. I'm assuming they're going to score another touchdown here. So they do. Okay. We're not losing again. Where's Jordan Addison? So far, every time we need a big time play, we go on Justin Jefferson. This time, we got Addison in the slot. We have no timeouts. Davis X at the top. He is our speedster. 97 speed. Oh, okay. Let's reset. Catch and get out of bounds. Jordan Addison into Titan territory. Oh, tough grab, but we're in bounds. Snap it. Let's go! Extra point pending. Kind of want to go for 2. Let's go. Had to go to OT. But we avenge at Super Bowl 7. The Minnesota Vikings, as the yellow and purple confetti fall from the rafters, are now the most successful franchise in the history of the NFL. Parnell, 7 Super Bowls. Jordan Addison, 7 Super Bowls. I think that's it. I don't think we have anybody else that's still surviving. Let's soak this one in. We are going to wrap this up. I do got to go look. We got to go look at all those stats. See who did what. Addison was all-timer. Maybe Parnell is up there all-timer. But 7 rings. This is the longest rebuild it's ever taken me to record. My apologies, because I probably was hyping this up from last weekend. We got it done. Vikings, 7-time Super Bowl champions. And Parnell, when he needed to, you know, we'll give it to Jordan Addison. Look at that. Jordan Addison, 12 catches, 254 yards. Good God. In closing, looking at the final career stats, Deshaun Parnell, 50, we'll round that up, honestly. It would be a generous round. 54,000 yards passing, 477 touchdowns to 97 picks. Playing like Aaron Rodgers. Even though he's a dual threat, we never really utilize that too much. Just fine. Jordan Addison finishes with 18,000 yards receiving on almost 1,300 catches, 181 touchdowns. Gutierrez was here for a long time, 7,100 yards, 69 tutties. Trent Davis was here since this whole career, 5,100 yards, 35 touchdowns. Love seeing that. Defensively, we had a little bit of a turnover there on the defensive side, but Demps has been here the whole time. 400 tackles for him. We got 61.5 sacks for the D-tackle, Johnny Fowler. On the interception front, 16 picks, Richard Vincent. Yeah, defense is young. Not enough. But let's look at the all-time records here. Where are we stacking up for all-time yards? We're not there for the QBs. All-time touchdowns. Not there yet. We're close. One more year, I think he would be on the all-time tutties. Receiving yards, Justin Jefferson at number 3 all-time. Number 6 all-time. Jordan Addison, honestly, comes back one more year. He's probably catching Chris Godwin there. Look, Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase got one more year extra before he retired. No one could catch Jerry Rice. Touchdowns, though. Amon-Ra St. Brown caught him. Jordan Addison got within an arm's distance here. 181 there for him, which is cool. But I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. The connection that we were able to keep with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson for most of this rebuild is what I will remember from this. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, especially if you're a Viking fan. Soak it in. I don't know how many more of these I got left in me before we get into Madden 24. I think we'll probably do one more. So out of all the teams that have yet to win a Super Bowl in the history of the league, which one, if there only had to be one more of these videos, which one would you want to see? Let me know in the comment section below. If it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.